Alright, what's good everybody? Does it sound good, everybody here? Sorry about that, I streamed, I didn't have my thumbnail and everything set up right. But, guys, I'm gonna jump right into this because I'm gonna try and make this a YouTube video and just run with it from there. So, first of all, what are we doing? Today we're doing a Wailing Caverns analysis. I made a PowerPoint presentation. I'm doing a dungeon guide series, and I kind of just want to go over it on live stream and show you guys what I'm thinking, what I'm trying to do with this project. Whenever Classic comes out, dungeons are like my raids, right? So I really want to theory craft what's going on in these dungeons to the T. I want to get everything done. I want to be able to optimize the best group composition in each single dungeon. And it could be anything from like 5-man group speed runs all the way to 2- and 3-man groups. So that's what I want to do with this today, guys. Let's go ahead. I got a clip running. Let's just go see what it looks like to run through Wailing Caverns. The old Wailing Caverns. First off, what do we got? Or if this doesn't bring you back, boys, I'm so pumped. I'm ready to get back to the old WC. But I just want to highlight what this dungeon looks like before we get into the discussion and kind of show the mob density. That's what we're looking at whenever we're going through this right now. This obviously is the introduction, and you start off with your raptors, evolving ectoplasms, really easy mobs, and then of course you've got the Druid of the Fangs. And as you'll see later in the slideshow, there's 69 of these mobs spread out throughout the entire dungeon. It was really cool. Whenever I analyzed this dungeon, I really broke it down, and you can see the separate pieces that... Okay, lower the music a little bit. Sorry. You can see the, yeah, 69 Druids of the Fang. You can see the separate pieces that this Wailing Caverns dungeon is broken up into, which is really neat. And you don't really realize that until you analyze it like I did. And like the quest to kill 7 of each mob. There's 4 different mobs that you have to kill. Well, they're broken up into different sections of the dungeon. So you end up having to do an entire dungeon run in order to complete that quest. But there's just one thing that I noted. And so yeah, here's the starting zone, and look at how difficult. I consider Wailing Caverns a lot more difficult than the Dead Mines, right? This is probably the 3rd dungeon in terms of leveling. We have what? Ragefire Chasm, Dead Mines, then Wailing Caverns, and then Shadowfang Keep, and so on. But the difficulty of Wailing Caverns is insane compared to Dead Mines, because Dead Mines is, the way it's set up, it's linear, right? Everything is from point A to point B. It's just one route. Well, in Wailing Caverns, all of a sudden you come in and you've got 10 different directions to go, or 2, and you've got a bunch of different broken up sections. And look at all the mobs and how much movement we've got going on. Compared to Dead Mines, the difficulty on this thing is much harder. So anyways, we just did a loop. Normally, you're not gonna run into this direction. A lot of people skip this area because you don't need it to finish off any of the other quests. I think there's one Serpent Bloom back here, but again, you have Druids of the Fangs back here. One reason you would do this, obviously, is for the experience gain. Also, skinning the Deviant Raptor, the Deviant Guardians and the Ravagers. Skinning these guys for the perfect Deviant scales. The Druid of the Fangs, they have a 2% drop to drop the glove, so if you're trying to finish the glove set, you'd really encourage your group to finish off that last little piece. But after you kill Lady Anaconda in this first part, she spawns in 3 different subsections, or 3 different spots. We already killed her. Typically, you go left. You go to the west first because it's the shorter section compared to the rest of the dungeon. If you were to go to the right, to the east, it's absolutely massive. And I'm talking through this right now. We're gonna break it down all after this video. I just want you guys to get a look at and remember what Wailing Caverns look like if you haven't visited it recently. At Grace for Days, have you have memories of getting lost in Wailing Caverns? Dude, Wailing Caverns, oh my goodness, we spent hours in here, and then, especially if you go to the right side, since I've broken this down, I know where I am, and so it's hard for me to capture that element of being lost, but Dude, I can't tell you how many times we turn a corner, or you go around a bend and there's two different directions. And you go one direction and then all of a sudden you go around another corner and there's two more directions. So it's like you can't keep track. You keep trying to backtrack. Okay, where have I been? Where have I been? And yeah, dude, I got so lost. And I remember getting frustrated at my group because I was like, dude, why didn't we go down that route? But if you're experienced and you know what's going on, it's really not that bad. But yeah, so this area... This area gets really dicey, and I can't tell you how many times I came over here and we had groups broken up in this section. As you can see, you got Druids of the Fang, and this is one of the first times that you see those Deviant Pythons. They're normal mobs mixed in with these elite mobs. Now there's 3 Deviant Pythons here and 2 elite mobs. That's a 5-man group, and people don't underestimate it, but if you don't clear those normal mobs, I mean, the group composition, your group gets taken down real quick. And then look at this, dude. This looks like a mess. You got 4 elite mobs as well as 2 normal mobs, just controlling it all. And I fell on my run through, so we got a second time coming back up here. But you'll see, I kind of wish I would have explained all these things before we did this, but I just kind of want your guys' gears to be turning in your head whenever we go and analyze all the things and think about numbers and group composition afterwards. So here's the second boss, Lord Cobran. We end up killing him, and then all you guys remember this part, right? This is really nostalgic to me, jumping down these steps. But that's the first little section that we ran through. Really simple. The dungeon, you're halfway through technically. You finished 2 of the Lady Anacondra and Lord Cobran, so you finished 2 of the main bosses, and you need to kill 2 more of the other Druid of the Fang bosses in order to be able to summon the Neralex boss. But so you end up running back through here. We're gonna speed it up a little, but I just want to give you guys an idea of what we're looking at again. This was always really neat to walk through for me. Like Wailing Caverns is massive, especially like since I just got done doing the guide over Dead Mines, I'm comparing it a lot to the Dead Mines, but both the Dead Mines and Wailing Caverns are both underground, but the Wailing Caverns is it's this massive oasis compared to the Dead Mines being, obviously, you're in a mine. And so this place was always beautiful, and Wailing Caverns is like my #1 all-time favorite dungeon. Graves for Days, I can't remember, was the whole summoning at the end of Wailing Caverns in Classic? Yeah, dude, to summon Neralex, the secret boss, you have to kill all 4 of the Druid of the Fang bosses. But so now we went to the east side, and you have a different set of mobs over here. Of course, you have Druid of the Fangs, and then you have these Deviant Shamblers mixed in with the rest of these guys. And then you got these Lashers that are just mixed in here. And dude, these Lashers, if you don't pay attention, we had a tank or 2 wipe just because the healer wasn't paying attention, and they put out some crazy damage. This is kind of more of a nostalgia trip that we're looking at right now. But guys, this picture right here makes me so nostalgic. I don't know why. This big open space with these Deviant Lashers. I can't tell you how many times I did it. Yeah, if you mess up there, it's going to cause you to reset the whole instance. Yeah, and I want to point that out too. So Wailing Caverns is insane because it's not linear. You can go so many different directions. If you wipe as a group at any point, there are respawns at the beginning of the instance, but just getting back to the initial point that you were at, it's such a huge investment. Whether if there are respawns, and if you get lost, you know, running back on the route, or you have these patrols that walk around all over the place. But look at this. There's 3 elites, Deviant Lashers. Like, dude, it's no joke in here. It can get sticky real quick. Real quick. So let's see. Normally the general rule of thumb, whenever you go on this east side, is to just hang left. Hang to the left side of the wall, right? And there are a couple pathways, as you see, that we could have gone down. They end up meeting back up together. You can go back in those directions, but they're just additional mobs that you're going to grind for experience. Again, if you're going for those Gloves of the Fang, there's more Druids of the Fang in these group compositions. So like right there, we didn't go down that direction, but if you stay left, you get more mobs to kill, and of course we get to our third boss. Who's this? Lord Pythos? So anyways, but yeah, look at how dangerous this room is. I can't wait. I can't wait to go back. I can't wait to get in here this summer. Jay Lear, people hate when I try to heal Wailing Caverns as a druid because I have no res. That Ghost Walk is long. Yeah, I fall in the same boat, Jay Lear, because I run druid, and typically whenever I get a group together for Wailing Caverns, I actually did it on Chronos, like the one time I played on private servers. I make sure to get another healer. I make sure to grab a shaman or a priest whenever I'm putting the group together, even if I'm the main heals as the druid. I really try to get a shaman to get a resurrection because, yeah, it's painful. Or at level 20, druids get a resurrection, but you also need the reagent. So yeah, druids typically screw the group out of rezzing a group that goes down. You're right. Alright, so yeah, again, here's another path that we would have gone down, but it all ends up leading into the same direction. I'm going to keep skimming through here. And you guys can see how this dungeon's broken up. Now we're in the what are these guys called? The snake flying guys. I did a whole PowerPoint over this and I can't think of their names. Deviate, yeah, the Deviate Venom Wings and the Dread Fangs. They have different unique abilities, which is really cool. But we're in the Deviate Dreadwing and Venom Wing section. Now look, I'm gonna pause this real quick, guys. Look at this picture. There's a treasure chest, but it's not just a given. They have two different mobs set up, and you're really supposed to take them on separately, but they put them so close to each other. If you accidentally pull them, dude, that's 4 Druids of the Fang, and you're gonna see the abilities. They have, of course, a lightning bolt, a heal, a sleep, and one other ability, but control in like a cobra form. Controlling those 4 abilities on 4 different mobs, and then you have a Venom Wing and a Dread Fang, which are both, one of them spitting a poison out, and one of them spitting a fear out. So if you were to pull both of these in a normal group of 18, 19 players, I know it looks simple, but you're probably going to end up wiping here. And I just wanted to point it out. They put this treasure chest here just as bait, and if you're not careful, it's over real quick. But just look at the design of this dungeon. There's no normal mobs. That's 6 elite mobs. And there's a lot of mobs just around the corner. Like, if you had a healer or somebody backing up and you pull the other mob, it's a wrap, dude. You're done. You're done. Whole party getting slept? Yeah, dude. Absolutely. And then I came over here and I tried to jump around, but it just ended up leading back to where I was initially. So, this next room I really like, guys. This next room's really interesting to me. Or again, nostalgic. Just because it's this lush oasis. We're deep in the Wailing Caverns at this point, right? And you've got the Deviate Lashers mixed in with Druid of the Fangs, other elite mobs. But yeah, that's just a beautiful room right there. Here's the picture. Here's the picture that gets me every time. And tell me you guys can relate on this. Watch this. Whenever both of these guys cast at the same time. Bam! Does not everybody have that burned into their memory? I feel like that happens every single time. I don't think it's avoidable. But they both aggro at the exact same time. And then Scum. This is just a cool little boss room. I remember these little fence posts and these gates. Just really highlighting Scum in his position over here. But yeah, he always dropped a stupid dagger, a green dagger. And that was the other thing. Half these mobs in here, they drop green loot, and especially with like Lady Anacondra, you don't even realize that you kill a boss sometimes. If she drops her shoulder pads, and you don't look at her name, you don't realize you just killed a boss, unless you of course see the yellow mote. But yeah, a couple of these bosses in these low-level dungeons still drop green loot and kind of leave you questioning. Sorry. But yeah, we're gonna keep going through here because I want to get to the PowerPoint and get to the numbers. But you guys can see how this group is, how this dungeon's laid out, right? And how we're gonna have to control it. And so think about this whenever we go into group composition and whenever we come up with the best combo, the best 5-man combo. Yeah, it's like his own arena. Yeah, Scum. I know, it's sweet, dude. It feels right. The game design, the game design on these old dungeons was so sweet, and I was so upset that they took it out. Okay, look at this, guys. Look at this myth. I didn't even jump, and I made it. So you don't even have to jump, guys. How did people fall back in the day? They jumped too early and then just missed the ledge somehow? But yeah, I thought that was interesting. You have to do a sick 360? Yeah, dude. if you're about it, if you're about that life, absolutely. Look at this. You don't realize it because I panned over there, but there's those two mobs, the Druid of the Fang and the Venom Wing, sitting in the corner, and then a patrol come and just take you out if you weren't paying attention. So you really got to be on your guard in Wailing Caverns, or else, I mean, it gets dangerous real quick. And then this last part, you just spent 2 hours in the Wailing Caverns, and you come up to this point, and you got this boss sitting around a bunch of tiki poles. Oh, I am the Serpent King. I can do anything. Whenever I played through this Platinum WoW, if you guys keep up with his Dungeon Guide series, his intro to the Wailing Caverns was insane, and that's where it came from. And then look at the hitbox on Verdun the Everliving. We talk about, I've heard, you know, the Torrent's hitbox is a little bit bigger than everybody else's, but Verdun the Everliving, it surprised me. I guess I remember it being that way back in the day, but I was never panned out this far, so I probably didn't realize it. But yeah, his hitbox is like from forever away. Probably lag and noobiness. Yeah, I don't know how we fell on that ledge, but it totally became an iconic thing. Okay, so we just finished the dungeon, guys. This is where everybody disbands, and it was so weird because in the PowerPoint I key, there's this secret boss, this secret quest, right? And it shouldn't be, because it's just the quest item that drops off the last boss, Neralex, that you're supposed to do after you kill all the Druids of the Fang. And why didn't everybody catch on? There's a whole room dedicated to Neralex. He has a whole dialect talking about how, you know, he needs to be awoken or whatever. And then all the dialect on all four of the Druid bosses, whenever you kill them, it's like, you're not going to wake them up. Why didn't we ever put 2 and 2 together? Well, why did people just take off? Like, what? The element of mystery really changed how we did dungeons back in the day. But yeah, it blows my mind because it shouldn't be a secret boss. But anyways, so we're coming back, and you're gonna come back to the Disciple of Neralex, where you're gonna begin the quest. And he says, I must make the necessary preparations for the awakening ritual can begin. You must protect me. In this escort, you're gonna have, of course, 2 raptors come up. You'll have another section where 3 deviant vipers come up, and then there are respawns in the initial area where Lady Anacondra is, the first boss. So whenever you're setting this escort up, you can go clear the respawns ahead of time, or you can end up just killing him whenever he comes, kind of like I did here. But Disciple of Neralex, this guy is soft, and we're just going to kind of go through this. I'm going to show you what the last little walkthrough looks like. This dungeon's typically for like 18 to 20, level 18 to 20 ranges. The Druid of the Fang, there's 69 of those mobs. The main mob that is spread out within all the mobs throughout Wailing Caverns. That's the level range. Like, you can get by on 18 to 20. But this last encounter, if you have a full group of level 18 players in your group composition, it's really hard to complete, just because the mobs that come out, he summons 3 vipers that are level 21 to 22 elites, and then he summons 7 ectoplasms that are 21 to 22 elites. And if your group isn't prepared and you're not coordinated, I mean, the Disciple of Neralex goes down extremely quick, and once he dies, this whole boss encounter's over. You can't summon the last boss. So, a lot of group of 18s, while they didn't do it, now look at this. Look at how quick these guys come out. It's insane. I didn't even... He's done. If you weren't coordinated, he's done. You can't summon the last boss. It's a wrap. Sorry about you. But anyways, the last boss is a level 22 elite, as well as 3 ads coming out at 21 to 22, or 20 to 22, and then 7 coming out at 20 to 22. So I just point that out because this last encounter is not a given. Alright, let's see, where are we at? So, that was an overview of what the Wailing Caverns looks like. That was a little refresher. Let me see. Oh wow, this is different. I can't actually see the chat now. I wasn't expecting this to happen on my restream, or on Streamlabs. Okay, give me a second, because I want to be able to talk to you guys whenever I am going through this. That sucks. My bad, guys. Give me a second. How do I fix this? I was not prepared for this. Show taskbar, display settings. If you're watching this on YouTube, just skip ahead like a minute or something. As I get this figured out. Let me see. Display settings, swap presenting session. I really have to end the slideshow? I don't want to show it like this. I guess I could. I mean, I could change the... This isn't gonna work. Oh yeah, well. We're gonna do a quick hotfix, guys, just to make it look a little bit better. This is Streamer 101 right here, baby. Pro streamer. No, my bad. I'm still figuring this out. But we're just gonna do this on the fly, and I want to make this a halfway decent YouTube video, so I don't want to have too much lag time in between. Alright. So, what did everybody think about the Wailing Caverns so far? On a scale of 1 to 10, I want to hear real quick before we get in, how would you rate the difficulty, especially compared to Dead Mines? Dead Mines being a linear dungeon, there's not really, it's not that difficult of a dungeon. The game mechanics aren't that hard. There's not any mobs that are bunched up together, particularly in one spot. Even the ship encounter, it's not that bad. Wailing Caverns is insane. I'd give the Dead Mines, like, on a difficulty level, maybe a 3 or a 4. But what 1 to 10, what would you guys give Wailing Caverns? Well, what's your personal difficulty level? I'm just curious before we get into this. I may have some lag, or you might just be sleeping. I don't even know how many people we got watching us right now. Alright. Three, Dead Mines maybe a 5. Oh man, I wish I had my stupid YouTube chat up. My bad, guys. Again, if you're on YouTube, you're gonna skip through this. This is what, my 4th stream? I know I got a lot of people on YouTube right now, and I don't have the comment section for them pulled up. I'm gonna fix that real quick. I'm gonna rig it up like I did last time, and then we'll get right into this presentation, guys. How's everybody doing? I didn't get to talk to you guys before this started because, like I said, I wanted to make this YouTube friendly. But we're gonna go ahead and pull this up, mute it, and now I got the chat right here. All right, baby. Now we got both chats going. Okay, I can see what's going on. Okay, so Peace Smile's a solid 6. Yeah, dude, Wailing Caverns, I'd definitely give it a 6 or 7. And again, a lot of it depends on your group. A lot of it depends on the level of your group and the skill base, obviously. So a group of 5 level 18s coming into the dungeon, I'd say a solid 6, 7 of difficulty. Maybe even an 8, just because, as you can see, there's a couple zones where the mob density is so dense. You pull an extra group and it's over, especially because the Druid of the Fangs are spread out throughout every entire mob. Like every group of mobs, there's Druid of the Fangs in there, which puts you to sleep. And if you don't have a shaman in your group with the Tremor Totem to take that sleep away, it's a wrap. Alright. Alright, guys, we're gonna get on with this. Okay, so now granted, I want you guys to be thinking about what we're looking at right now. This is a mock-up. This is kind of like a rough draft. I've got a lot more going into this PowerPoint. I just kind of wanted to present it to you guys, get your feedback. I might throw in some thoughts and ideas that you guys have after looking through this guide. So I'm going to run through it, and then we're going to do like some Q&A at the end. So, our Wailing Caverns Dungeon Guide, an overview. So of course, my recommended minimum level for this is level 18, and that is bare minimum. Now, I know a lot of guys want to come in at level 17. You see a lot of people, they get eager in the Barrens. They're tired of questing. You start in there at level 10, and you're 16, 17 at this point, and you're like, man, I want to get a Wailing Caverns group together. I've been there. I've been that level 17. But it is so tough coming in as a level 17. Say if you have 2 level 17s and 3 18s, dude, your group is so weak, and you're going to have so much trouble, especially like if you don't have the core classes like a Druid with Hibernate that you get at level 18, and Shaman with the Tremor Totem at level 18. you're not gonna have a chance, in my opinion. And it's just gonna end up making Wailing Caverns take so much longer. You're gonna have a couple more wipes than you would have. It's just not worth it. You really need to be level 18, and even level 20s, 19, 20s, 21s. That's more the recommended level. They still struggle, but yeah, dude. Even a group of 5 level 18s, it gets tough in here. It gets sticky. So you're looking at like a 1.5 hour investment minimum, in my opinion. It takes an hour and a half just to run through this thing. That's not counting picking up quests. If you die once, you're just gonna tack on an extra 15 minutes minimum. But up to 3 hours, if you're planning, like say you're running through Classic WoW and you want to get a group together for Wailing Caverns, you're gonna see 1.5, really 2 to 3 hour time investment after you pick up all the quests. And the last encounter with the last boss encounter, that adds on 20 minutes to this dungeon run, right? Also, yeah, I lost my train of thought. We're gonna keep going. So the minimum entrance level to this dungeon is level 10 if you're interested in getting twink groups together. If you're interested in gearing them up before they level up to 19, you can get your twink in here as early as level 10 and get some high guildies to run you through, clear everything else up to the boss, and then you'll run in, hopefully get your drop, and go on your way. So the average mob level density, or the average mob level is 19 to 20. It's really like 19 and a half. I didn't crunch the numbers and do the math. I will on the final presentation. But yeah, my difficulty level is pretty difficult in my opinion. I know you guys were giving it like a 6, a 5 or a 6, dude, and I gave it a 7 just because I felt pressured by you guys a little bit. I really give it like an 8, just because the Druid of the Fang abilities, you have to balance those. Alright. Before we jump in, Baron of Hell, also any healer should be at least 3 levels higher than his party, mainly to have enough mana to pool to be forced to drink as much as he would otherwise. Not even counting warriors not wanting him to drink. Yeah, that's fair. What's up, Fukla? It's Graves for days. All I want to do is play Classic WoW today. It's the anthem, baby. Alright, so, first off, we got our quests. So, there are 7 quests available in Wailing Caverns. 2 of them are Horde specific, they're exclusive to the Horde, and 5 of them are what I guess you call them neutral quests, but the Alliance can obtain these as well as the Horde. So for Horde you have up to 7 quests that you can complete. Now, if you look at this, you've got your typical quests. Of course you have the kill mob quest, you have the collect item quest, like the Deviant Hides, kill 7 Deviant Ravagers, Vipers, Shamblers, Dreadfangs, and then you've got some oddball ones thrown in there. I do want to point out, like 3 of these quests can be completed outside of Wailing Caverns. That's kind of like a mini hack. If you're not going to get a group together and you're trying to speed run, this is something to consider. You've got 3 quests that you can complete completely outside of the instance: Trouble at the Docks, Smart Drinks, and Serpent Bloom. All these quests can be done with 1 or 2 guys. You don't even need a 5-man group, so that's something to keep in mind. And then the bonus quest. Like I said, it really shouldn't be considered a bonus quest because I mean, it was put into the original game's design. I don't think it was that hard to figure out. But for some reason, I mean, I'm not going to act like I did because I remember Hearthstoning right after Verdant the Living a million times. It wasn't until later expansions, I think, that I figured out that Naralex was actually a mini boss. And he drops the glowing shard, which you end up having to go to Ratchet, first of all, to talk to Sputterville, and then you go to Fala Sagewind. And this was really neat because how many times have you guys run to the top of the mountain and seen Fala and been like, why is she here? And because I never finished Wailing Caverns, I never got the glowing shard quest, I never figured out why she was there until years later down the road. But after you finish the quest at her, both the Horde and the Alliance, they then need to go to their respective cities. The Horde going to the Thunderbluff and the Alliance going to Darnassus. And guys, the rewards on this thing are insane. This is where you get your automatic first shoulder piece, and it's got +6 intellect, +3 stamina. This is best in slot for 19 Twink Rogues just because of the +3 stamina. The Serpent Shoulders, they have 60 armor, and I think some people think that's more valuable than +3 stamina, even though these are cloth, but yeah, these are definitely best in slot. These are the first shoulders you're going to see from anybody, so if you do a Wailing Caverns run, you're guaranteed at least that, which is nice. Alright, so Deviant Eradication. Now, guys, the way I've got this set up, like I said, I really want to be able to theory craft dungeons. I want to be able to track how much experience gained, how much reputation gained from a typical Wailing Caverns run. And so I've got all these things set up in this presentation to plug in, like the experience and reputation gains. I didn't plug them in now because nobody really knows the exact numbers. But the cool thing is I'll be able to come back and do that. But yeah, the first quest, Deviate Eradication, you need... To complete this quest, you have to do an entire Wailing Caverns run. Like I pointed out earlier, you can see on this map, you kill the Ravagers at the start of the dungeon, the Vipers are on the west side, and then the Dreadfangs and Shamblers are found deep inside the east side. So you can't just do half the dungeon and expect this quest to be done. But this quest gives you a sweet wand for everybody that doesn't do the magic wand guide that Cargos threw out recently. If you don't pick up a wand early on, this is a good chance to get a wand. I don't think anybody ever picks up the gloves because if you don't get the wand, you end up getting the Pattern Deviate Scale Belt just to sell for some extra gold. Because, as you guys know, that's best in slot twink item, Deviate Scale Belt. Okay, next quest, we have Deviate Hides. It requires level 13, and you get a 10 slot bag from this quest. This is huge. So, you can complete this quest, especially like I pointed out earlier, you don't have to get a dungeon group together. If you feel like you're trying to speed run and you want a 10 slot bag, guys, you can just run to the top of Wailing Caverns in that little cave above the entrance. You can get a 10 slot bag, really boost your leveling experience, your time spent leveling, and you get a 10 slot bag out of it because you can pick up the Deviate Hides from the mobs outside of the instance. You don't have to go inside, which is really neat. Smart Drinks is the same way. It comes from the ectoplasms found inside and outside of the instance, but it is the second quest to a quest chain. And if you don't get prepared beforehand, you're probably not going to pick this quest up because the quest beforehand is Raptor Horns, which, from my memory and from what other people talk about, the mobs dropping their quest items like the Zebra Hooves and the Raptor Horns, in the Barrens, it's impossible, or it takes a long time. So if you're trying to pick up all the quests right before your dungeon's already made, your group is already made, and you're trying to pick up all the quests, you're probably not going to pick this quest up because you have to get 5 Raptor Horns beforehand. Now, so typically in a group setting, well, I'll go over that after this. Let's finish this off. So Trouble at the Docks, another quest you can pick up in Ratchet. Real simple, you get the 99-year-old port from Mad Maglish found just outside of the instance. He spawns in 3 different locations. But what else we got? We got Serpent Bloom. So Serpent Bloom is picked up. You have to make a trip to Thunder Bluff at level 14 in order to pick this up. And if you end up doing the Leaders of the Fang quest, you shouldn't have any problem picking this thing up. Or you can get this shared from everybody else. Normally somebody in your group is going to have this quest. And then, of course, we have the Leaders of the Fang quest. Now, this is the final quest to a 7-quest chain. And I went ahead and broke it down just because it's confusing. I know everybody knows you got to jump around from pool to pool. But seeing it on paper, seeing it on one slide really shows you exactly what you need to do. But yeah, it's a 7-quest chain that is begun at level 10, and then the Leaders of the Fang quest can be picked up at level 14. Alright guys, now I got a list of the quest rewards. This is something that you can look up whenever you're contemplating. All my dungeon runs, they're all going to have this list. You can go, okay, what am I going to get from each dungeon? I'm going to have slides of quest rewards and boss loot in order for you to determine if it's worth your time to come in here or not, and if it's worth your time to prepare and pick up all the quests before each dungeon. As you can see, the Serpent Bloom and Leaders of the Fang rewards are exclusive to the Horde because they're Horde exclusive quests. You're not missing anything with the Apothecary Gloves other than the experience gained, and I guess if you were enchanting, you'd miss out on some free dust here. But yeah, the Leaders of the Fang, you've got the best in slot Crescent Staff, and then Wingblade. This is an awesome weapon, and I was talking to somebody earlier, I never really understood why it wasn't at least mentioned in alternative best in slot 19 Twink Rogue weapons. I understand it's a faster sword speed, and so its Sinister Strikes aren't going to land as big, and I think the way Sinister Strike ticks, or the energy ticks, the 2.2 sword speed is too fast, and you end up having to wait instead of getting the 2.8 time on a Cruel Barb or Shadow Fang, which I didn't understand why Wingblade wasn't talked up and discussed more as an alternative to best in slot 19 Twink items. Alright. So now, the quest notes, and I'm just going to break this down for you guys. If you've got any ideas, again, I want you to be thinking about these weird notes, because this guide that I'm putting together, what I'm trying to make, it's just going to be a ton of different notes that will really make you think, and so you need to think outside the box whenever I was putting these things together. They're just weird notes. So, some things to consider. You have 2 quests above Wailing Caverns, you have 2 quests in Ratchet, one of those requires a prerequisite, and 2 of them begin in Thunder Bluff, and 1 of them drops from the last boss. So that just kind of breaks it down, gives you an idea of where you're going to obtain all these quests. And there's only 3 shareable quests, and a lot of your group members, you're going to see only complete 3 of them because, like I said, they're not going to take the time to do the prerequisites for the Raptor Horns in the quest. I think that's the Mad Magnus, the Evolving Ectoplasm quest, and then the Leaders of the Fang. Of course, you really want to do that quest, and there's no reason why you shouldn't do it because you're going to be leveling through the Barrens, and you might as well get up to the point anyways to where you can get the quest reward, because especially for Druids, that Crescent Staff is a huge stat stick, and the experience gain is just, it's really nice. What else do we have? So, yeah, and like I said, I already pointed it out. I got a little ahead of myself, but you can really turn this, with this information, you can really, you know, put it into your advantage. Like, I consider Wailing Caverns to have its own little mini dungeon outside because 3 of the quests can be completed before you get in there, and they're elite mobs, so if you're with 2 or 3 people, the experience gains you're going to get from killing these elite mobs is going to be healthy, as well as completing 3 quests, one of which gives you a bag and just the added experience. So that's something to consider in your leveling route. 2 of them Hoarder, 5 of them are neutral. Now in these quests, there's an incentive for tanks to run Wailing Caverns because you're guaranteed that main hand sword, like I said on the Leaders of the Fang quest, and you have 2 different drop rates, or 2 different drop chances at getting a possible blue board, a blue shield. And so that's just something to consider for tanks. Is the music too loud? It's bugging me for some reason. My bad. Alright. Yeah, and so then of course the reason you want to do these quests is you get a guaranteed wand, you have the money making recipe, the 10 slot bag, and then you have the best in slot level 19 twink shoulders, and not just the best in slot 19 twink shoulders, but everybody running through Wailing Caverns at this level range, you're not going to have any shoulders. And so if you complete the last boss, if you kill Neralex, you're going to get access to the +6 intellect, +3 stamina shoulders. I know they're cloth, but the buff is really nice, and the feeling of getting your first shoulder is just, it feels too good to pass up. And of course that Crescent Staff, you really want to run the Wailing Caverns. Now let's look at loot. So we had the quest rewards. Oh, actually my PowerPoint's all out of whack. I threw this together. I'm still going to put a lot of detail into this guide. I'm showing you guys so that maybe I can get some of your thoughts, and it's cool that we're going to be able to theory craft at the end of this the best group composition for this dungeon after you've seen all the statistics. Now we're getting into the juicy stuff. We've got 9 bosses in here, I believe. I didn't do a full count on it yet, but we have Crash. First of all, he drops a white shield and a blue shield. Typically you never see the blue shield. Now before I go into this, guys, I didn't fill in the numbers for health, armor, damage, and attack speed, like I said, because they're not going to be reliable. I know they're going to change. The armor values and the health values possibly could all be subject to change. Also, the drop rates, don't take these numbers for official numbers. I just put these numbers in as a placeholder. I looked them up on the classic database and other databases, like if some of these databases were wonky, and these numbers are really just placeholders. They're going to be updated in this guide whenever the dungeon comes out, so just keep that in mind. Alright, so the next boss, Lady Anaconda, we're going to go over the 4 Druid of the Fang bosses, whatever you want to call them, the ladies and the lords. So Lady Anaconda, all of these bosses, well, they don't all have heals, but she has a heal, a lightning bolt, a thorns, and of course a sleep. I think they all have sleep abilities. But the really cool thing about this guide is you're going to be able to pull this. You'll be able to pull this list up, look at all the abilities, and this will really allow you to micromanage each interaction as you go throughout the dungeon, which I'm really excited about. Like, you can really think about, well, I need to be able to stun her sleep ability. It's a 1.5 second cast. It's not an instant cast. So take for instance the Tauren Racial, the Thunder Stomp. You can interrupt the sleep ability if you're on top of your game, if you're looking for it. And the heal, it's a 2.5 second cast. Again, another interrupt that you can do. And then the Thorns thing, if you really want to micromanage. And guys, hear me out. And I want you guys to be thinking of this. I'm not necessarily thinking about 5-man group compositions. Whenever I'm putting these guides together, whenever I'm laying all these abilities out, I'm really doing it from the perspective of I'm gonna come in here with a 3-man group, a 4-man group, and I'm gonna speed run it, right? I'm gonna try and get it done as quickly as possible. So you kind of up the difficulty and up your level of play whenever you can micromanage all these abilities. Like I said, dungeons in my eyes, I have a certain love for dungeons. I freaking love these are my rating. I never rated in vanilla, but I spent so much time in these dungeons. I consider them my rating experience, and I really want to theory craft these things just because I don't know why my heart is so sold on dungeons. But yeah, I think the information is neat. It's really cool. It's really going to help you out whenever you try and speedrun and do 2- and 3-man group compositions in Classic. That's where I'm coming from. So then Lord Cobran. He doesn't have a heal, but he's got his own Cobran serpent form. Now the other Druid of the Fangs, they have serpent forms, but his is specific, and they have little tidbits which I'll point out at the end of the slide. But he shapeshifts into a serpent for 5 minutes, increasing attack damage by 50 and increasing the time between attacks by 43%. So an increase in haste, and he's in there for 5 minutes. Not that you're going to fight this guy for 5 minutes, but he's got an instant poison, so that's not interruptible. But of course his lightning bolt and his druid slumber, it's a 2.5 second cast. And I'll look at these things at the end, but he drops the leggings of the Fang, the best in slot 19 twink items, and you're going to spend forever trying to get those things. Alright, let's keep going. Let's keep going. I need to go through this so then we can really analyze together at the end of the video. So Lord Pythus, of course, he has another heal. A lightning bolt, a thunderclap ability, and a sleep ability. It's a little bit different than the druid slumber, but we'll look at that at the end. He drops the armor of the Fang and stinging viper. If you've been watching my videos, guys, I got this thing back in the day. This is what Jolly rocks everywhere he goes. And it's equivalent. I'll point this out right now as we're talking. The stinging viper is equivalent in damage to the cruel barb, and the only difference is from the cruel barb and this, it has the same attack speed and same DPS per second. But the stinging viper's chance on hit gives you, how much is that? 7, 8. It's 35 extra damage, and then the cruel barb has plus 12 attack power. And someone pointed this out. The stinging viper is inferior to the cruel barb because it has the plus 12 attack power on it. But in a matchup, in a 19-19 Twink Rogue matchup, you'd possibly take the Stinging Viper over the Cruel Barb in the mirror matchup because this would end up putting the poison on the opposing rogue, and then they wouldn't be able to bandage. So that was kind of just a cool little thing to think about. Something I read up on whenever I was putting this video together. The third Druid of the Fang dungeon boss, actually it's the last one. Now this guy has an increased heal, and it's different from all the other druids because it's a full heal. It's rank 6, not rank 3 like the others, which is insane. So you really want to interrupt this guy's heal. If you let him get it off, you're going to reset. Probably won't be a problem, but just in a 2 or 3 man group, it might be a problem. Again, that's where my thinking is coming from. That's where my perspective is whenever I'm putting these guides together. But yeah, he drops Venom Strike, the best in slot ranged weapon for 19 Twinks as well. And who was it? Was it Thor? Or somebody pointed out Serpent's Gloves. They have +4 agility, +4 intellect cloth. And everybody, everybody thinks they had the vanilla items back in the day had these wonky stats, which they really did. But I mean, what, the +4 agility, it adds 8 armor to this the glove set, and 8 armor for cloth gloves is probably a lot at this level, and increases the chance to dodge. So I mean, who's to say that the agility wasn't intended for a healer, that the main tank didn't keep aggro on the mob, so he needed some agility to keep it up. Anyways, Thor, agility is great for casters, increases wand crit chance. That's a private server thing. In the official notes, I went and read up. I actually saw the notes yesterday. It does not increase wand crit chance. It shouldn't, and so in Classic it won't. But Scum, our next boss, Scum, he has his Chain Bolt. Of course, it's a 1.8 second cast. I don't think these drop percentages are correct, but this is just a placeholder. As I said, he's got a pretty sweet cloak that he drops. Who else do we have? Verdant the Living. He's only got one ability, which is a stun ability, and then he drops Living Root. Living Root, which is so underwhelming because compared to the Crescent Staff, the quest reward to the Leaders of the Fang for the Horde, this Living Root is inferior. I mean, it's no good, dude. Plus 12 Spirit compared to 7 Spirit, Intellect, and Stamina on the Crescent Staff. But the shield here, this is huge. If you're a tank in here, you really want the Sealed Cloud Buckler to drop. And if you were to get this to drop and finish the Leaders of the Fang quest, you're gonna have a freaking sweet Sword and Board combo going into later dungeons. So that's something to consider. A little bit more incentive for the tanks to come through this dungeon. And then the bonus boss, Mutinous the Devourer. He's got 3 different abilities. This guy's level 22. He's the highest level in this dungeon. And it's a scary boss fight. Not necessarily a boss fight, but getting up to summoning him. He's got Terrify, just like one of the other mobs in this instance. He's got a Thundercrack ability, and then Neralex's Nightmare puts the enemy target to sleep for up to 15 seconds. If he puts this on your healer, it's a wrap, and you don't have a druid in the group, yeah, it's over real quick. But check this out. While I'm on this, tell me what you guys think. Tell me what you guys think about the slime encrusted pads. It is a cloth. Now, if we didn't have the glowing shard reward, where you get the Talbar Mantle plus 6 intellect plus 3 stamina, this discussion I'm about to bring up would probably hold a lot more weight. But slime encrusted pads, I was thinking whenever I looked at this, dude, I don't care if you're cloth or not, I was gonna roll on these things because it restores 3 health every 4 seconds. And I know the armor, it is cloth armor compared to the 60 armor or 58 on the Serpent Shoulders. But like, if I was going through here, I wouldn't be a jerk. But I'd almost want to roll need no matter what class I was, just because shoulders at this level are few and far between. But I didn't know if you guys felt the same way, if you guys thought the same thing. Maybe not. Maybe you're not as evil as I was, or as I am. But I won't do people dirty like that. But Mutinous drops, and you can see it. The gear that he drops is so much higher than all the other gear throughout the instance. Like, all the other bosses, they drop level 15, 16, 17, 18 requirement level gear. All this guy's gear is 21, 22, and 23. And like I said, if you have a full group of level 18s, they're probably going to be a few 19s in the group by the end of the dungeon. You're going to struggle getting this guy down, and you have one shot at it. After completing the entire instance, if you let the Disciple of Neralex die, you can't summon the last boss. So, something to keep in mind. If you can get through that hard encounter, you're going to get rewarded greatly. And whoever gets the drop, whether it's the ring, the chest piece, or the shoulders, you're going to get a sweet little piece of loot. Alright. And then we have the rare spawns. So you have the Fairy Dragon in here. He's dropping a sweet wand. Compared to the quest reward wand, it's got 3 more damage per second. And then that's really what you're going for. You really don't want to see the cloak drop if you have the Fairy Dragon spawn. But let's see. And then you have two rare mobs that spawn outside the instance. 2 mini bosses, whatever you want to call them. Bowen, he's got a ton of abilities, just like all the other Druid of the Fang characters in the instance. But he's level 22. And guys, this was really neat. I want to just talk on this. During the classic demo, I didn't realize, as well as a ton of other people, and I don't know their background who was playing in the demo, but I imagine it was a lot of classic WoW fanatics. A lot of people were like, I didn't even know this guy existed in vanilla. And I myself didn't either. I was like, Bowen's Fang, like, I didn't realize this guy was actually a mob in Wailing Caverns. I guess a lot of groups came through here and ended up clearing these mobs, but I'm not sure. Alright. So then our last boss, of course, is Trigor the Lasher. He drops a sweet little one-handed axe, as well as the Serpent Sting axe. Those are 2 one-handed items you can pick up. Alright, and now I put out each mob in a PowerPoint, and I want to see what you guys think. But this is why the dungeon is so hard. Now, whenever I'm talking about the minimum level requirement of level 18 is strictly because of this slide right here. Druid of the Fang is a level 20 to 21 mob, and there's 69 of them. 69 in Wailing Caverns. And people don't realize it, but like I said, all the mobs are spread out through the entire instance. There's this mob here, there's this mob there, so there's a bunch of groups of 16 to 18, 18 to 19. But the Druid of the Fang, level 20 to 21, is spread out inside of all of those groups. So you're not getting into an easy part of the dungeon at any time, because you have Druid of the Fang with these 4 abilities, specifically the sleep ability, dude. If you're not on top of it, and the healing touch, he heals a friendly target he doesn't heal himself, but he heals all the mobs around him. So this guy is the reason I say your recommended level has to be level 18, because at level 18, of course, you get huge abilities. You train you get hibernate for druids, and you get the tremor totem for shamans. Not to mention all the other class abilities, which I mean that especially at low levels, dude, that level 18 bracket, you're gonna get huge abilities that are gonna help you in the dungeon. If you come in at 17, it's a waste of everybody's time. I mean, it's fine, but you're just not gonna be as useful because you're gonna have Druid of the Fang 3 to 4 levels higher than you the entire instance. And then of course we have the Deviant Guardians. I want you guys to look. So that's the 20 to 21 elite mob that you're gonna see throughout the entire instance. But then you have the sections broken up. You've got 18 to 19 Deviant Guardians, Ravagers. Of course, the normal Deviant Crocolists, they have a cool ability, Tendon Rip. I thought it was cool to throw in there. It doesn't really affect anybody, but it's more of like, again, that role-playing experience, the immersive experience. Tendon Rip reduces your movement speed by 25%. Evolving Ectoplasm, not much to them there. The Deviant Adders. Now, we've got Deviant Adders and Deviant Vipers. As you can see, these are found on the west side of the dungeon, and they're not found anywhere else, but they both have poisons, and for some reason they're labeled different. The Adder inflicts nature damage to an enemy every 3 seconds for 30 seconds, and then Localized Toxin from the Deviant Viper inflicts 1 nature damage to an enemy every 5 seconds. I may need to look that ability up again. That might not be the right stats, but it's kind of cool that they both have different poison abilities. So if you have, I'm trying to think of if there's any poison cures at this level, it'd be useful in this setting at least. And then the Deviant Pythons, like I was talking about earlier, whenever we walk through Wailing Caverns, dude, you don't realize that these guys are normal mobs, but if there's 3 of these guys and then 2 Druid of the Fangs, or 1 Druid of the Fang, 1 Viper, and 3 of these Pythons, if you don't focus down these Pythons or the tank doesn't control them, your healer pulls aggro real quick and your group is wiped. Just like that. And you're going to end up hating everybody. Alright, and then Deviant Dreadfang. So now we're moving to the east side. These guys, the Deviant Dreadfang and the Deviant Venom Wings, are found strictly on the east side. And the purple guys, this is a good rule of thumb to remember. Purple means fear. They have a Terrify ability. You're gonna want that Tremor Totem to avoid the Terrify ability. This will wipe your group real quick too. And again, going back to that mystery factor back in the day, you don't realize it, dude. Wailing Caverns was a lot harder before you realized this guy had a freaking Terrify ability, and he feared you into the next mob, and your entire group got wiped. But you got Deviant Venom Wing. He's got again another poison. So, but this one is different from the Adders. This is kind of neat, and you can think about this in your 2 to 3 man group compositions. This guy's poison can be interrupted. It's a 2.5 second cast rather than an instant one coming from the Vipers. And these guys are 20 to 21 elites. So up that from the 18 to 20 Vipers. Whenever you get to that east side, it really gets difficult. So that's why you typically run the west side first to hopefully get all your 18s. And if you brought a 17 in, get them leveled up to 18 or 19 before you head into that east side, because 1 level's worth of stats is, and the weapon skills and the defense armor rating is pretty beneficial. Of course, we have the Deviant Lashers. This was kind of unique. You always see the AoE ability that they had, but you never really knew what it did. It's an instant cast. It inflicts normal damage +5 to enemies and a cone in front of the caster. So if you got 5 of these guys casting that off on your entire group goes down real quick if you don't have the tank. I mean, this is a cool thing. This is a cool thing to note, because you want your tank turned around on the other side so that the rest of your melee members don't end up getting wiped, like Light Reaver pointed out earlier. And then Deviant Shamblers, they have a wild regeneration heal, just like the Druids. It's a 3 second cast, so that's something to keep in mind, something you can look out for and interrupt. There's 24 of these guys, again, found on the east side, levels 19 and 20. Now, extras. So we've got mob count. Now check this out. I put this list here. I didn't do the math to it yet because I'm gonna wait until Classic, but there are charts out there that can calculate the entire experience gained if you were to have a list like this. So it's really interesting to me, because this way you'll really be able to theory craft, okay, how much time spent did I spend going through a Wailing Caverns dungeon, and how much experience can I expect to get out of it? In a typical 5-man group, okay? And then say you go in at level 18, 19, 20, it all fluctuates. And then maybe you go down to a 3-man group. You go in there with 2 other buddies. How much experience am I going to gain from a 3-man group at level 18, 19, 20? You can figure that out with this list of mobs right here, which is really neat, really nice. Guys, this list took like 45 minutes to put together. This slide took like 45 minutes. But I did point out some additional experience gains to factor into are the bosses. You have a list of bosses there, and then the additional mobs that you can factor into a typical instance run are, of course, going to be all the mobs found outside the instance. And then you have respawns with the Naralex encounter. So you're going to have respawns in that Lady of Anacondria room, that Lady of Anacondria zone. So you can count in an extra 5 raptors, right, that you're going to kill, as well as 13 extra mobs that you'll kill during the encounter with that. But that's just a little side note. I didn't really have to explain that on here. But then, now this is neat. Guys, this PowerPoint that I put together, this whole presentation, it's so redundant, but it's useful. Like, I wouldn't want to go through each slide on each boss. It's neat to look at because they all have added value in their own way. Like the dungeon boss, each PowerPoint with each single mob or boss on there has all of his statistics, like his armor, his attack speed, his abilities, as well as his level. But here, I've got 2 lists spread out of all the abilities inside the dungeon, from the bosses to the mobs, and we have it laid out on these 2 PowerPoints. So you can see, of course, all the bosses have the sleep ability, and they have their own unique poisons, cobra form, thorns, and heals, like Lord Pythus has that. No, it's not Lord Pythus, it's Lord Serpentis. At the end of the dungeon, he's got that full heal. So if you're in a 2-man group and, I mean, you're struggling to get him down, and you interrupted his first heal, you don't interrupt his last one, and he takes you down because he got a full heal off, well, you would have known if you would have seen this list. So anyways, that's the thought process that goes through my mind whenever I'm putting these things together. So those are the boss abilities, but you don't really encounter that. But again, why this dungeon is so hard is because the Druid of the Fang abilities, they have the serpent form, which just gets crazy real quick, and the sleep. The sleep is really what wipes everybody. Yeah. So anyways, I thought that was neat. Now check it out. We got maps. We have updated classic WoW.live HD 1080p, whatever you want to call it, maps for you guys that we did ourselves. Big shout out to Taladrill putting these together. We're gonna end up releasing these to the public whenever we get them all done, but for now, if you wanted to, you could steal these 2 maps from me. We have an exterior map and an interior map that the website's just trying to offer everybody else. Really neat, and that's something to think about, guys. Whenever Classic comes out, what's Blizzard gonna do with the old maps? Are they gonna update them? Because there weren't any maps in vanilla, and then the maps that did come out, I guess in Wrath, or I don't know when they came, but they're not updated. Are they gonna update their own maps, or are they just gonna implement old maps? Because they don't have HD maps of the old dungeons. That's the point I'm trying to say. So it's gonna be really interesting to see what they do. Maybe they'll use classic WoW.live's maps. I doubt it, but so then I put together I tried to map out some bosses, some maps myself. Didn't really go well. You can see all the serpent bloom on this map. That was kind of stupid, but anyways. So guys, that was the presentation. Now I want to talk to you guys about Alliance. You saw the quest rewards. You saw the boss loot. Would you get to this dungeon as an Alliance? Would you sacrifice the time? It's not really that bad, considering you can take the ship. If you do decide to do this as an Alliance character, you're gonna have to go to the wetlands and take the ship all the way to the Swamp of Sorrows, and then you just run up the coast and you can get to Wailing Caverns that way. Or you can come from Darkshore and you can come through Ashenvale, and that's another way you can do it. But by the time you're in Ashenvale, what are you, level 20? Which I guess would be just in time for Wailing Caverns if you were to level through Ashenvale as an Alliance. But if you're human or dwarf or gnome, after seeing this is the boss loot and the quest rewards, because you don't get that crescent staff as Alliance. Would you guys do this? Would you put the time down to come run this dungeon? Jay Leal, if I'm in a guild and we want to run it for fun, I'd do it, but I don't think I would take the time to just for the gear. That's fair. That's a fair statement. Yeah, I would do it. The only reason I would do it as an Alliance was for the experience. It wouldn't be for the gear. Especially the second time coming through Classic. I don't know. As an Alliance character, it is so out of the way, and it's not really ingrained to the Alliance way. Like whenever I think about leveling through Alliance, you don't think about doing the Wailing Caverns. Just like as Horde, you don't think about doing the Dead Mine. So you don't really miss out. But yeah, I was just curious what you guys thought about that. if you would take the time to run this dungeon or not after seeing that. But anyways. Alright, let's keep moving. Unless I was a warrior for that living root. Yeah, but I'll be playing druid. Yeah, dude, absolutely. Absolutely, alright. Alright, Light Reaper, I see you. Okay. I didn't know how this presentation was gonna go. I'm just doing this for YouTube. If you guys were to see this and you wanted to throw in some extra tidbits, if, you know, I was trying to think outside the box a little bit, I'm gonna have, this is totally a rough draft. I'm gonna have these written out and spread out completely in a revised state. But if you guys had anything you wanted to throw in there on YouTube, if you're watching this, I have quest notes, things to point out with the quest rewards. If you see anything that I didn't point out that's worth mentioning, feel free to express it in the comment section. That's really why I'm doing this video, because I still have a lot of prep for this dungeon guide, and once I get this video done, once I get this presentation done, it's going to set the skeleton for the rest of my videos. So I'm like halfway through. I'm gonna do a whole nother sheet of all the class abilities for each class whenever you're thinking about this, again, because I'm imagining going through these dungeons as level 2 or level in groups of 2 or 3 mans. So knowing every single spell and every single racial and talent tree abilities coming from each class, if you had all that information, it'd really give you a good idea of what to expect. So there's a lot more coming in this dungeon guide. But if you had any other note you wanted to make on the loot, specifically the boss loot, not necessarily the quest reward loot, but I tried to list it out here. Yeah, the Druid of the Fang set. I had this PowerPoint. Yeah, right here. So the Druid of the Fang set, it's useful for most, I mean, it's most geared towards shamans and druids, right? And because of the use abilities, it's got increased healing and plus 10 intellect. But on easy bit, on a low scale, I'm trying to think, the hunters and rogues, they benefit from the stats from Druid of the Fang, from the Druid of the Fang set. So you can't blame them for wanting to roll for the set. But from, again, another immersive role-playing perspective, if you're dying to get this set, you can see the percentages and the chance that you're going to have it getting a full set. You might want to run Wailing Caverns a couple times if you really need it, just personally, but it's not really that big of a benefit. Lots of those pieces I'm gonna rock as a Fury Warrior Thor. Yeah, screw you, dude. Screw you, man. If you steal this from me, I'm gonna be so mad as a druid. But rogues at level 20, they get poisons at level 20, so they would get benefit from the set bonus at level 2. And hunters get the 2-piece set bonus as well with their Serpent Sting. So rogues and hunters, this isn't, you know, don't get mad whenever a rogue or a hunter goes for it, because the primary stats and the 2 set bonus is actually beneficial for them. But anything past that, shamans, this is a great set for shamans, especially if you're thinking about running, I don't know what would be next after Wailing Caverns, maybe Black Fathom Depths, right? If you had a couple pieces of the set for shamans, man, if you had the whole set, if you somehow were lucky enough, I mean, this would be more in an organized group, but you got the plus 10 intellect. This is a leather shaman tanking set. You know, I never thought about that until freaking hear Def Camp and Melderon talking about it. Non-stop. He never shuts up, right? No, but he swears by the shaman tanking, which is really cool, and I love that he pointed it out. It makes you think. I'm just giving him a hard time. That felt kind of rude. I didn't mean it, Melderon, if you're watching. But, yeah, this set's really good for druids as well. But yeah, you can see the boss loot here. If you had any other notes you wanted to add, I'll kind of go over them in this presentation, just because. So tanks, they have incentive to come here because they have a chance at 3 different shields. Typically, they're going to get Kresh's white shield. They have, I think, what is going to be a 10% chance at his blue shield, and then the last boss, Everton the Living, has a 40% chance to drop the blue shield as well. So what's that, a 1 in 4 drop rate of going through Wailing Caverns and getting a full blue main hand and blue shield combo that would be beneficial in later dungeons. It's just something to think about. And you also have that OP chest on Mutinous the Devourer. If that drops, you get a sweet level 23 mail chest, which is huge. Now for casters, you get that guaranteed quest wand. Maybe with the rare spawn, you get his blue wand. You get the Horde Quest Staff, and the Alliance, of course, they have to stick with the Living Root Staff, but Living Root Staff, the stats suck so much. It's got plus 12 Spirit. It just feels kind of bad. But I guess if it's better than anything else you had, it'd be useful. For two-handed melee, you're really going to see Bowen's Fang, the boss found outside the Wailing Caverns. This is something to... Man, if you get lucky enough to find Bowen spawned, that'd be a big boost to your warrior that's not a tank. Or maybe he is a tank, he just doesn't have a shield. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, I guess. But paladins and hunters. Hunters could pick up Bowen's Fang as well, because hunters can use everything, right? Spell power rogue. I sleep on living root. Why so? OP warrior weapon. Okay, so I did see videos talking about how overpowered staffs were for warriors, because of the base abilities, like the way the base abilities stack or whatever. I can't think of it right now. But yeah, I do sleep on that because nobody really thinks of warriors using staffs. But I've seen the video of that one guy talking about it. Really interesting concept. The spirit's good for out of combat regeneration. Yeah, that as well. Right. Right. Okay. That was a good point. Thanks for pointing that out. Let's see, what else do we have? Oh yeah. Okay, guys, now. And that's the spirit. Okay. Now, guys, this is the last part. This is really what I wanted you guys here for. If you have any 2 cents on the entire presentation that we just went over, if you're on YouTube, go ahead and put your own thoughts in on this. But we're talking about class selection. Again, I know I sound like a broken record. 5-man groups, especially at a low level, in these low-level dungeons, I hear people always theory crafting. Oh, you need this, this, and this. You need this tank. Now, in this case, yeah, a shaman's really good because of the tremor totem and the sleeps, because there's a freaking sleep every mob encounter that you have, right? But other than that, I don't think that group compositions are that important. I really don't. I think you can go in with any group of 5 players, and you're going to get through the... As long as they're skilled, I mean, they at least halfway know what they're doing, you're going to get through the dungeon completely fine. And so, this idea of theory crafting the best group composition for 5-mans really doesn't interest me. I think it's a waste of time for the most part. But again, like I said, I'm thinking long term. I'm thinking about things that I'm going to do in Classic. Speed running. And doing achievements. Like, if 5-man dungeons are too easy, dude, get 2 of your buddies together in 3-man Wailing Caverns. And so that's whenever you really want to think about class selection, the best 3 classes to bring to the table. And if you go hardcore, balls to the wall, you think you're hot stuff, you go 2-man, and then you really got a theory craft. So, some things to think about whenever we think of the perfect group composition. Before I get into that, Light Reaver, the only thing I may add is that one of the neutral quests done outside the instance should be done as a party. Trouble at the Docks, where you need to kill a stealthy goblin inside the cave, but outside the instance portal, it should be done mainly because he tends to be camped by many other players to complete the quest. Yes, you're right. Thank you for adding that in, and I'm glad I said it because I added it in the final presentation. Seriously, it's little comments like that, guys. You see how Light Reaver just put that in, little tidbits. Like I want this guide to be so extensive. And I haven't said it yet on my channel, guys, but I really want to have the most extensive dungeon guides, like to the T. And I know it sounds crazy, but some people want that. A lot of people don't typically want to see that, but for some reason, I am motivated, and I would actually put the time and effort into putting that together. I wouldn't necessarily use it myself, but I want a complete master dungeon guide. That's really what I want to do. So all these little tidbits of information, feel free. Don't hold back. Jay Leal, I never thought about 2 3-man dungeons. Sounds like a nice challenge and a ton of fun. Jay Leal, don't sleep, baby. Don't sleep on it. We're gonna be doing things big. That's why I'm putting these guides together. Ultimately, seriously, I've got huge plans for Classic. Trying to push the limits of your classes, absolutely. That's why you need to micromanage everything. That's what puts value into theory crafting this entire dungeon, and that's what puts value into theory crafting all the dungeons. Like, this is uncharted territory, dude. Nobody's ever theory craft. I mean, nobody's ever theory crafted 2 to 3-man group compositions for dungeons with certain requirements. And like I said, dungeons are my raids, guys. This is my passion. This is a passion project. And I'm gonna say this. I meant to say this at the end of the group for everybody that's gonna see this on YouTube, but this is what I'm doing here, like everything that I've done on YouTube up to this point, it was really neat. You know, I've got entertaining videos, and I think it's important to have to keep the hype alive. I think there's value in some of the videos that I do, but a lot of the way I feel about it now is a lot of my videos, they're just, yeah, they're informational, and the Classic Hype series is neat, and it makes people think about playing the game differently, and I think there's value in that, and I think that's important. But the amount of value that I am contributing to the community, I feel, isn't that great. Now, this Dungeon Guide series, the amount of value I'm going to be bringing is going to be huge, and that's why I'm so excited about this. And again, this is a passion project, guys. I wouldn't be doing this unless, for some reason, something inside of me loved dungeons, because I never experienced raids. This was my raiding in vanilla. I want to create like an entire new meta whenever the game were to come out, based on 2 to 3 man group speedrun compositions. And it's totally driven by passion and just this desire. Like, it's so neat. In World of Warcraft, there's so many instances of this, guys. How many people do you see making videos, not just for money, like, and because some people do that, and that's fine if you do, whatever. But how many spreadsheets have you guys seen on Discords of people that just care about this game? How much time have people sacrificed and spent for the love of this game? And that's kind of what I'm getting at whenever I'm pursuing a project like this, because like I said, I'm not gonna spread my wings too much on, like, unfortunately I'm not gonna get to professions and other things like that, just because I wouldn't be bringing as much value as if I had an extensive dungeon guide. I'm sorry, I keep rambling, but guys, that's where I'm at, and that's where a lot of these guys at ClassicWow.live are at. And I didn't really mean to throw this in there, but that whole project, the whole website that those guys are doing right now, it's a passion project. These guys are doing it because they love the game, and they want to bring value to the WoW community. A lot of people say the game's gonna die in 2 to 3 years whenever there's nothing to do. Let's do dungeon run, 2 to 3 man dungeon runs. And I think the value those guys bring, though, the interactions that they're bringing to the community, whether they bring other people on or promote others making content, it ends up making this game timeless. It ends up extending the life of Classic World of Warcraft. Anyways, Jay Leal, you got me thinking so much now. One of my planned moneymakers for 60 was selling tank services for dungeons. If we can theory craft good 3-man comps for later dungeons, there could be a big market for selling full-on carries, Jay Leal. That's what I was thinking about. I was gonna do my own dungeon runs, bro. Is there a waterfall noise in the background, or is it just me? Yeah, my bad, bro. I got a background noise playing. I'm sorry. It's driving you nuts. Let me see if I can turn that down for you, bro. Yeet. Okay. Jay Leal, I thought about that. I was gonna have 2 accounts and speedrun not speedrun. I was gonna clear all the mobs and get loot for my 2 to 3 man group runs, because you're gonna need to be geared if you're gonna go in these dungeons with 2 or 3 man groups. And I didn't really think about selling it as a service. I was gonna do it as a personal prerogative, whatever. But yeah, dude, I like the way you think. I like the way you think. You're definitely an entrepreneur at heart. But yeah, that's really neat, dude. I'm trying to mix up the entire community with this thing. I think this would be really neat. Again, a really neat thing to add to the community. All right, I'm done rambling. That was like 10 minutes, guys. Class selection. Let's look at this. And I want your guys' feedback as much as you can give me. I didn't have time because I put this together in like a day and a half. And I really wanted to start streaming it and start getting some screen time again, and so I don't have this thing fully completed yet, but I'm gonna have a list of all the spells and abilities of each class, their racials and their talents, in order to really help us consider these class selections. But some things to think about whenever you think of the perfect group composition. Again, we can talk 5-man and we can talk 2 to 3-man. Healers. Who has a res ability. This is something to think about. If you bring a druid in, like we said, they get their res ability at level 20 with that reagent, which you can do it, but if you have a level 18 druid and you don't have any other characters that can resurrect, dude, in the Wailing Caverns, you really need someone that can at least do 1 res, other than the druid. And the druid may not even be able to, but you really need a res ability for healers. Yeah, bring a shaman, a priest, or if you're Alliance, a paladin for a res. And then at level 18, this is something to think about. Warlocks, again, why I recommend that all these classes should be level 18, because they get these huge spell boosts, spell bumps at level 18. You get Soulstone for Warlocks at 18, which is going to save your group so much time in the Wailing Caverns. That's something you should consider. Racials. who has the best racials. Whenever I was looking at racials, in a PvE perspective, like the Alliance, they don't really have anything beneficial for racials. And now we're getting into the nitty gritty here whenever we're talking about this. But whenever you're doing a 2 or 3 man group, you've got to theory craft everything to the T. You got to have your numbers, your X's crossed and your I's dotted, whatever you want to call it. You got to have everything down. And the Horde have some really neat racials. The Orcs, they have the command racial, Warlock and Hunter pet damage plus 5%. So if you're in a three-man group composition and you're trying to do a speed run, Orc Hunters and Orc Warlock pets that are going to end up being your tank do a little bit more damage. In the long run, I don't know if that's going to shave some seconds off, but guys, if this turns out to be as big as I want it to be, we're going to be talking seconds, guys. And so the racials coming down to the wire are really going to could make a difference. But we'll see how it goes. The Undead, they have Will of the Forsaken, of course, for the Fear, Sleep, immunity. That's really interesting. That's something to think about. More damage is more threat. That could be useful in squeezing out more DPS in a smaller group. Nice, Jay Leo. Thank you for throwing that in there. Those are the kind of ideas I'm talking about. That's why I'm doing this live stream. Seriously, I want you guys to be throwing those things in there. Like, I'm gonna have a whole list of just stupid things to think about that can later be refined, because this list can always be refined. So if I've got like the best tidbits, if I've got the best bits of information from all you guys, it's gonna harbor more good ideas from more people, and it's gonna increase the value of this guide, which is gonna be insane. Especially Jay Leo, you're thinking like me now. Druids have a quest for cure poison at 14. I didn't remember that, but yeah, thank you. I was gonna end up looking at all the class quests whenever I'm putting this together. I'm gonna do that after this guide. That's what I'll be working on the rest of tonight. Probably won't have this guide posted until the weekend, and I'll probably end up starting on, I think, Black Fathom Depths of the Stockades next. But Kit, I'm gonna give this guide a couple days on YouTube to get viewer submission, viewer feedback, before I end up posting the full guide. Dwarf Priest Fear Ward, yeah, yes. I think I put their. Oh, I didn't put their Fear Ward in there. Because if it's exclusive to priests, that's right. That's right. Yeah, thank you for pointing that out. That again, that's the kind of comments I'm talking about, baby. Thank you, Sam Stripey. Okay, what else do we have next? Trolls. Okay, again, their beast slaying damage against beasts is plus 5%. Beasts, there's Wailing Caverns is full of beasts. And now, correct me if I'm wrong. I think whenever Druid of the Fang turns into their serpent form, that's considered a beast, right? And they get that plus 5%. Guys, this is theory crafting to the max, man. We're talking. We're micromanaging everything. We're talking about seconds here. Do troll pets get plus 5% damage to beast? Jay Lear, I don't know, dude. Hey Gray, what are we theory crafting? Arcanal. Okay, we're theory crafting the best group composition. Whoever just joined, whoever just got in this, we just did a complete overview of Wailing Caverns. Now, I'm gonna try and sum this up quick and get you guys caught up to speed. But theory crafting, in my eyes, in a 5-man group composition, it's not worth your time, especially in these lower level dungeons. But my vision and my goal, the value that I want to bring to the community with these guides, and my personal goal that I'm going to be doing, like with websites and add-ons, eventually, I mean, if it got to that scale, is doing 2- and 3-man group composition runs and speed runs. So I mean, we'll do achievements for, getting through. Dude, if you get through a 2-man run, I don't care if it's a fast run or not. If you get through with 2 druids or a druid and a warrior, whatever you want to call it, that's going to be a big achievement. So, we're theory crafting the best group composition for 2- to 3-man groups, typically. I mean, these will apply to 5-man groups as well, but we just started. It will probably go on for a little bit longer. But that's what you should be thinking about whenever we're going through the racials, the best healers, crowd control, gear distribution, all those things. We're almost done with racials. So, Torns, the Torns War Stomp. And they're nature resistant, so the Torns have a plus 10 nature resistance. Wailing Caverns is full of nature abilities. I was talking to Taladrill about this. I don't think that it scales this low level. I don't think that makes a difference, but it's something to think about. Also, the racial between Orc Shaman and Tauren Shaman. Again, we're talking about seconds. This one's actually impactful. You'd probably go Tauren Shaman for the stun, dude. To stun all the sleep and poisons and fears that are gonna end up coming out. That's something to consider, is the Tauren racial. That's totally going to change your pick on a shaman, whether you go Tauren or Orc. And then, of course, the Dwarf was the last one with the Stone Form, immunity to poison, and then Dwarf Priest with the Fear Ward. That was something to think about. But, yeah, the Horde racials really had a lot more benefits than the Alliance racials did. Again, I'll have a full list out whenever I put the entire video out explaining this, but I want to get everybody's feedback as much as possible. Brian Lee, PvP or PvE? PvP, absolutely. If I end up doing this full time, if this ends up working out for me, I might not be able to do PvP, but we'll see. Okay, so now we're looking at crowd control. What are the now we can think about this in a 5-man group composition, because if you have a full group of level 18s, like I said, if you don't have the right crowd control, things are going to get ugly. If you don't have a shaman, if you don't have a druid, if you don't have a mage, you're really going to be screwed. So this is what I've seen. I'll get more information on this whenever I do more research before I put this guide out. But of course, mages are huge in Wailing Caverns. The polymorph. Oh, and rogues with their sap, right? So yeah, and I put this in here. So mages, polymorph, and rogue sap are huge in Wailing Caverns, because there's a couple groups where you got 4 and 5. And there's even one where you have 6 mobs at once, and you really need crowd control, or you're going to need a really good tank or a really good healer. Just a really good group to get through 1 or 2 little spots in Wailing Caverns without wiping. So mages and rogues bring polymorph and sap. Now druids bring your hibernate, which again is learned at level 18. If you're a level 17 druid tank, sorry about you. You need to hit level 18. Go learn hibernate. You can put beasts to sleep, dude. Whenever the Druid of the Fang goes into their serpent form, boom. I mean, and this goes on the speed run. You could have an off-tank, right? An off-tank druid in a 2 or 3-man group composition. You time that cobra, you time the cobra form whenever they go into cobra form, and you have your druid put them to sleep, and then micromanage the other mobs. That's just something to think about. Maybe that would get you through the mobs faster. I'm not sure. But the druid hibernate, that's also going to save you in a lot of situations. Not just a 2 to 3-man micro speedrunning view, but also in 5-man groups. Hibernate is extremely beneficial in a lot of these groups. And then shaman. If you're running this as horde, if you can, you need to get a shaman. I've done Wailing Caverns runs without shaman. It's not a problem. You can get by. It's going to be harder. It's going to take a little bit longer in a 5-man group composition, but the trimmer totem is such a benefit. Look at this, guys. Again, learned at level 18. You've got anybody that wants to get in my group at 17, I scold them. You know, the abilities learned at level 18 are so beneficial, and the increase in stats are just insane. And then your hit rating and your resist rating against all these mobs 1 level higher is big. But the Tremor Totem summons a Tremor Totem with 5 health at the feet of the caster that shakes the ground around it, removing fear, charm, and sleep effects. Guys, the fear and the sleep effects both used all throughout Wailing Caverns. Again, it takes away the effect from every party member within 30 yards. It lasts 2 minutes, but that's huge, guys. Instantly, you don't have to worry about sleeps. And I think that also goes into account against bosses as well. Let's see. Anybody got any theory crafting? So I'm thinking that in clearing with a 3-man group, a big thing is going to be CC. Absolutely. With that in mind, I'm feeling a shaman, druid, mage, rogue comp. You've got tank, healer, and DPS, a res, good CC, fear, and poison cleanses. Yeah, I like that a lot. I like that a lot, J-Lear. And you know what I like even more? You know what, I'm gonna make you think a little bit more. I like, and if we're talking 3-man, I like 2 druids and a rogue, or 1 druid and 2 rogues. You know why? Because they all got stealth, baby. And if we're talking about speed run, you're gonna be able to skip so many mobs because of stealth, and it increased stealth. Yeah, dude. Yeah. So, yeah, skip the trash. Yeah, J-Lear, the 2-man. So the ultimate 2-man group is obviously Druid. And that's something I'm really excited about achieving in Classic. I can't wait to freaking clear Wailing Caverns with me and another Druid on a high-level skill of play. Like, think about it, guys. Again, I said dungeons are my endgame rating. I think 2- and 3-man group compositions, making big plays, big saves in a group of 2 or 3 is so much more fun than doing it in a group of 40 people. You know, in the 40-man thing, it's an achievement because you got 40 people coordinated doing the same thing. Guys, if you can make big-time all-star plays with you and another buddy, you and 2 other guys. Like, that's what really gets me excited. And I don't care that it's not 40-man rating, that it's not in-game rating, dude. That's elite. That's elitism, dude. That's big time, man. So anyways, that's what's motivating me on putting these lists together and theory crafting every single dungeon down to the T, because it's so much more gratifying than a 40-man run, even a 5-man run. Think about going deep with you and your best friend. You and 2 of your best friends, you do a 3-man run. It doesn't get any better than that through dungeons. Especially if you guys have been playing Classic if you've been playing Vanilla for a long time, and, you know, if you're just interested in speed leveling, screw it. And if you do it on your first character, who cares? But you're going to be leveling a lot of alts, and you're inevitably going to do dungeons. Dude, theory craft the best 3-man dungeon group. Like 5-man dungeons are too easy for you. Get you and 2 other buddies, and make it a challenge. That's what really inspires me for this. This is going to keep the game fresh. This is going to keep the game timeless. This is going to extend the lifetime of Classic WoW, in my opinion. Just a little thing like this, my contribution to WoW, because I'm thinking about my contribution and the time spent, whether I'm making guides or I'm making entertainment videos. You know, and like I said, I think the entertainment and looking at the game videos are valuable, but this is a lot more so. Bro, I was like 80% sure I was gonna roll Alliance, but you make me want to roll Horde and do those challenges with you. Yeah, Jay Lear, bro. Yeah, Jay Lear, dude. It's so much fun. I agree. Let me see if I got anybody on YouTube. Twink game. Yeah, dude. Sugar Spice. The Twink game is going hard. Absolutely. Horde will own Wailing Caverns. So Jay Lear, let's keep going. I want to keep the ball rolling before I, just kind of talk to you guys freely. Gear distribution. Now this is something to think about, and I don't know if I can do it right now. I don't know if I have enough viewers, enough activity that's going to make this worthwhile. But I'm really going to sit down and think about this. What's the best 5-man setting? I mean, the perfect 5-man setting based on, wait for it, based on the boss loot, right? So we're looking at all these items. Boss loot. I didn't add the Druid of the Fang gloves in here, so that's something to consider. Sorry, that's just a side note. But what's the best 5-man group composition? 1 warrior, 2 leather wearers. Typically, whenever I put groups together for Wailing Caverns, because I always roll Druid, I always try to get a warrior and 3 casters. I try to get 3 clothies so that all the leather gear is for me. But that would be my perfect group composition. But that's something to consider. How can you evenly spread out the gear equally? I don't know if we can theory craft that right now, but that's something to think about. And if you do think about it and you do figure it out, throw it in the comments, throw it in this discussion, hit me up on Discord with it. I'm gonna end up sitting down and thinking about it myself. But again, I want this guy as detailed as possible. So group composition and the perfect group composition for gear distribution. Now, resistances and buffs. I don't know all the buffs off the top of my head for all the classes up to level 20. But again, that's another thing to think about in a 2 or 3 man group composition. How can you squeeze out every last benefit? Druids have Mark of the Wild. Mages have Arcane Intellect. What other buffs do we have? Things like that. Like if in a 2 or 3 man group you can't live without those buffs, right? Hashi P, good to see you, bro. Dude, if you just missed the stream, I'm sorry, man, because it was hot. I mean, it's spicy right now, what we're talking about, but we're just now kind of getting to the end. We're getting to the end of it. Good to see you, Hashi. So, resistances and buffs. I don't think the resistances are going to make a difference. The racial resistances. The Tauren have +10 nature resistance. I don't think the numbers are going to reflect any difference. It's not going to be beneficial to micromanage that at all. But the buffs, I'll have that listed out. Other than the Druid and the Mage buffs, I can't think of any. Keep in mind, you can get buffed before going in. Yes, and I forgot to add that in, and I was going to. You don't need a Druid necessarily. You get the Mark of the Wild buff from the Disciple Neralex, which is really neat. Again, that might make your rogue 2-man speed leveling composition work because you have the Mark of the Wild buff. Again, we're talking about seconds. We're talking about tiny numbers, but this next part I'm going to talk about the best healers, the best tanks. Now, whenever you do 2 and 3 man groups, you might have some hunters go through here. Dude, I want to micromanage. I want to get a full list of all the beasts that you can tame up to level 20 and all of their abilities. So you have disarm abilities, you have stun abilities, the knockdown, pet abilities. What is the most optimal pet for the dungeon that you're running at that time? Are disarms extremely beneficial, or you're running through a dungeon full of beasts, so disarm is useless. But again, you have a fear. I mean, that'd be kind of stupid, but like a stun ability. What is the best pet to micromanage through these things? Now, I think pet normalization, the attack speed is going to be normalized, like in 1.9, which is really unfortunate. It makes my theory crafting heart die a little bit more, just because it dumbs it down a little bit. But anyways, yeah, I'm talking 1,000 miles a minute. I'm trying to think. We just got to the end of this discussion, guys. I'm probably gonna end up wrapping it up on like theory crafting for like seriously hitting points and things that I'm thinking about. It's gonna be more relaxed right now, and I want to bring it over to chat and just some points that you guys saw. What did you guys think of this? Yeah, Hashi, it was a really good stream. I was pleasantly surprised, not pleasantly. I was satisfied with the stream so far, bro. Paladin buffs don't last long enough to get pre-buffed. There you go. Ooh, I like that. I like the way you think. Lesser beast enchants would be nice. Oh, I like that. The lesser beast enchant. Oh, crap, dude. I didn't even think about enchants. Oh, Jay Lear, you just opened up a whole can of worms, bro. I love you and I hate you. I thought I pretty much had this guy, you know, maxed out. Move speed enchants if you're speed running as well. Oh, thank you. These are the things I'm talking about, baby. Yes, keep it coming, keep it flowing. Let me think. So we got enchants. Oh, I know it's stupid, but say you're struggling with the 2-man druid group composition, right? You want the armor, the +8 armor, the stupid leatherworking armor skills. I'm trying to think. Oh man, dude, professions. Ah, potions. Oh my gosh. I don't realize what I just did. It's too deep, dude. Swiftness potions. Jay Lear. Grenades. Yes, dude. Does anybody else have this? I still don't know what professions to go. McDunk clumps. Me either, dude. The real Kyle, what's good, baby? Dude, you just hit the end of the stream. I wish you were here. But I'm glad you're here now, dude. The real Kyle. That's what I'm talking about. We had a really neat stream. Right now we're talking about theory crafting. We're really trying to micromanage 2 to 3 man group compositions, and we're going down the rabbit hole currently of, you know, we were talking about buffs. Now we're talking about enchants. We're talking about professions like grenades from engineering, armor buffs from the leatherworking patches. The best enchants at this level. Blacksmith stones. Oh, yeah. Blacksmithing too. That's something to think about. Campfire's a +5 spirit buff. Sam Stripey, thank you for that one. Good one, bro. Good one. That's why we're doing this. That's why I got this live stream going right now. I want to hear your thoughts. Campfire +5 spirit buff. How often can you make a campfire? Does it have a cooldown? Oh, what's the cooldown on campfire in vanilla? That's something to think about. Just while we're chilling. So guys, this is kind of near the end of the stream. I want to interact with you guys a lot. The chat. We're talking about theory crafting. If you missed it at all, it's on YouTube. Maybe look back a little bit, try and catch up. But I'm gonna look at the cooldown on campfire. If you guys have any other theory crafting, micromanaging things that you're gonna put down, lay them out. And before you go, I didn't come as prepared as I wanted to, because I'm gonna have, again, like I said, a full list of character spells, abilities, talent trees, and the racials all laid out, so we can really look at them together and go, oh dude, this would be good for this would be good for that. Those will be in my later live stream dungeons, which I'm excited about. But I want to make this a thing as I go through each dungeon guide, and I'm creating them. I want to collaborate with you guys as much as possible, again, because this is for the community. I don't want to make a stupid guide that I think is right, or obviously I want it to be as good as possible. And it's really neat to get you guys involved at the same time. Okay, so Vanilla WoW Campfire. Let's look at this bad boy. Can we get a... it's a 2-second cast, 5-minute cooldown. And a 2-second cast. Okay, 5-minute cooldown. It increases speed of those nearby by 4. I wonder, it's a 30-yard range, right? You really want to micromanage the best place to drop a spirit. Campfire. That's so funny, dude. I like thinking like this. Let me pull this back up. I got rid of my YouTube chat. Don't forget the fishing buff. The finger guy will be happy. Oh, the real Oh, yeah. The finger guy. Yeah. I thought he was the finger guy right now. I thought that was him. That was pretty funny. I love that you guys pick up on stuff like that, man. And while we're here, we're just chilling and chatting, guys. One thing I want to point out, and it's really funny, you know, I have all these, I have a million different thoughts and things that I want to make videos on. It's hard to put YouTube videos together. At least in my mind, I get stuck on the work harder, not smart, like work smarter, not harder mentality, right? I put so much time and effort into my videos. Like, even those stupid classic hype videos, I made PowerPoints for, like, the visual aid. And it just, like, each pan, as I'm talking about something, I want it to be perfect. I spend so much time, I can't even, like, discuss these stupid things that I really want to talk about, like what I'm about to talk about. So maybe live streaming will help me out and be beneficial for that, because I can't make a YouTube video every day, but I could get on stream and talk for an hour or two a day, every other day. That's something to think about. But the fishing guy in my guide videos, in my YouTube comment section, it's funny that you guys see that, because as a content creator, I keep tabs on everybody, right? I keep tabs on what everybody's making, in the videos that they're making, just to see what the community's doing. And 20% of my time is spent watching the video. I've got it playing in the background. The other 80%, I'm scrolling through comments on every single video, guys. And so it's funny, I see a lot of you guys that come to my stream. I see y'all in other YouTube communities, which is hilarious, and nobody ever talks about that. But if you guys think that content creators, or you think that people like me don't see, you know, the community, because I'm sure you guys see familiar names and faces in the Classic WoW community YouTube videos as well. There's nothing special about me. I'm just another, like, literally, I'm just another average Joe, just like the next guy. And that's something I want to talk about. But yeah, it cracks me up. Y'all talk about the fishing guy, because I've seen him troll in other communities, which is hilarious. I'm not and I'm not saying this, I'm not pointing him out in any way to be demeaning at all. I've grown to like you, finger guy. I can't think of your name right now. You've really grown on me, and I really enjoy seeing your comments. I enjoy seeing you show up in the community all the time. It cracks me up. It cracks me up. But yeah, I see you guys everywhere. That's all I wanted to say. It's pretty funny. No, real Kyle, I knew it wasn't. What isn't one? What isn't anyone making a video about? Oh, God. The real Kyle? Oh no, you're good, dude. I'm just saying, like, I don't know if other content creators do it, and I try not to spend so much time, but it's beneficial for me to go through the comment section. You know, I want to see the viewer feedback on this video, this style of video. It got a positive reaction from the community. This video was done, in my opinion, poorly, and look at the reaction from the community that it got. So I look at the other communities. I'm not, maybe I shouldn't have said that. I don't think any different of you guys. Like, I don't care. Like I said, there's nothing special about these. There's nothing special about the platform that I'm on or anything else. We're just regular people, just like everyone else. So people are making videos about mechanical things. The real Kyle. I'm not exactly sure what you mean by that. Okay, let me catch up on this chat. Jay Lear, what are we talking about now? Group the campfire so you can pull 2 or 3 packs onto it. I just saw that comment. This man's trying to min-max everything. Yeah, dude. I mean, this is gonna be my thing. This is gonna be my niche. Like I said, I got almost 1,600 subscribers on YouTube. I've been trying new things out. I'm literally like 95 days in, a little bit less than 100 days still. I don't know my place in the community yet. And I think this is the direction I'm going with the channel. I think this is the value. This is my offering. This is my contribution that I want to give to the Classic WoW community. So yeah, min-maxing everything whenever it comes to dungeons and creating a whole new 2 to 3 man group dungeon run composition. Yeah, I want to max all the numbers. Absolutely, bro. There's a group of people, they're just trying to consuming everything, little piece of Classic WoW content, trying to hold ourselves over. Dude, and it's funny you say that, because I don't know how you guys do it, but if I didn't make videos, I'd be going crazy as well. Because YouTube, I'll be honest, the entire Classic WoW community, they can't make videos fast enough. Combined. Nobody, like, you guys probably watch all the Classic WoW videos in one day. I know I do. Like, there's not enough content creators. There's not enough good videos. There's not enough informational things to hold us over. So, yeah, Jay Lear, that speaks volumes. I search hashtag Classic WoW on YouTube every other day. Dude, every day over here. Absolutely. I've been watching your content ever since the beginning. I enjoyed more content like this. Yeah, dude. Appreciate it. Yeah, theory crafting. Absolutely. Jay Lear said, I watch every single Classic WoW video that comes out on YouTube. I believe it. And you know what's funny is you're not alone. There are thousands of other people like you. I'm talking 20,000 other people like you. Maybe not, because I don't get 20,000 views on all my videos. So maybe, I bet you there's like, because I get like a solid 3,000 to 4,000 views on every video. I bet you there's like a thousand of you guys that just, I mean, you look up every Classic WoW video. And I agree. It's a fun time to be in right now. It is. Yeah, there's a lot of analysis about social elements like guild management, raid management, consumable management, like actual inventory for the guild to use. Yeah, the real Kyle. So I was going, whenever you pointed that out, I was going a little bit different direction with that. The social elements of the game, specifically we're talking about World of Warcraft. Now I was thinking, because since I've been in the content creator ring, since I've been on this stage, whatever you want to call it, this platform, I wanted to talk about, because, and I'm sure all you guys as people that watch videos too, you see the same thing that I see. And someone pointed this out, and they said, oh man, it feels like old YouTube again. Like, Classic WoW has revitalized 2005 again. Like, to a fuller extent than just bringing the game back, guys. We're talking about all the elements of the community, guys, and you guys know that with iPhones and the way the last 10 years have gone down, you know, community, you can argue that we can connect better, but it doesn't have as good of a feel of, it's not as, sorry, I've been talking for like an hour and a half straight, I can't think. It's not as tight as it was back in the day, dude. And I wanted to talk about how YouTube, oh my gosh, in the last 3 months, and guys, and since these blue posts have been coming out, the whole feel of the YouTube community is just fresh again. And I wanted to make a video on like the environment of YouTube, guys. It feels like 2005 again, not just because Classic's coming out, but YouTube. We got content creators putting out like crazy videos, extremely creative videos that you don't see anymore. You know, a lot of people put the videos out, they make videos for views, they make them for money, which, I mean, granted, if you're going to spend time doing this, try and make a buck. I agree, top 5 videos, top 10 videos, those are great, and they're nostalgic and they feel good, but I'm starting to see, like, who made a video the other day, like 100% Dodge, on the Rogue, Karaoke, whatever his name was. Just, people are making these crazy videos that we haven't seen in the YouTube community in the last couple years, and it's really neat talking about things like that. But yeah, Jay Lear, can't speak for everyone else, but I'd love more content like this. I don't know if you've seen Scarm's videos, but he's been doing super in-depth content on warrior and druid tanking, and I eat that stuff up. Yeah, dude. Yeah, I can't wait for the PvP montages. Absolutely. And Jay Lear, I would talk on that a lot more if I felt prepared enough to. I didn't raid in vanilla. I can't talk on that level, but dude, I spent so much time in these dungeons, which is why I'm so excited about covering these things, because I can talk about them. I need to learn every single class's abilities and get refreshed on all their spells, because even back in the day I didn't know every single class ability and spell and buff, you know, to the T. And I've been out of practice. Like, I've been dreaming of the glory days for the last 5 years, not necessarily playing it. So I'm doing as much research, I'm learning as much as I can to be able to do these theory crafting things. Yeah, this is gonna be where I spend a lot of my time. Like, screw the classic hype videos, those are good, they feel good, and I think it's good to look at I think it's good to have those videos to look at the game differently, but I really want to learn, and I want to theory craft. There's so much information out there. There's spreadsheets on spreadsheet on spreadsheet that have already micromanaged these things, but not necessarily 2 or 3 man dungeon group compositions, which is about to be my forte, dude. You've never even played WoW? Shut up. Shut up. You started playing vanilla servers about a year ago? No WoW experience beforehand? That's cool, dude. That's really cool. Because I can tell you love the game, and people always talk about, you know, is Classic WoW going to be a success? It's a relic of its past, you know? It's a relic of the past. It doesn't have updated graphics, you know, but they always talk about the timeless game design, and that's crazy to hear that you started playing private servers a year ago and you're hooked on this thing, man. Like, to the, you know, that you're watching Classic WoW, but you can't get enough Classic WoW. Oh, that's cool to hear. You're going to have a blast, bro. You're going to have a blast come Classic. I'm psyched. Aquabazar, I want to see hella PvP montages with emo music. Yeah, dude, it's coming back. It's already there, dude. People, and I'm not gonna do it, but you know, a few people, they end up showing videos. I guess I did on stream today, walking through Wailing Caverns. But yeah, people have been bringing back the emo music PvP montages. Absolutely. The real Kyle, you love the dungeon guides. I'll spend a lot of time in dungeons. You know, I'm hoping so, and that's the thing. Everybody is going to end up doing dungeons during the leveling process. And vanilla is such a time sink, guys. Me bringing this 2 or 3 man group composition, this theory crafting to light, you can, like I said, I think it's more gratifying achieving things in a 2 or 3 man group than it is in a 40 man group. Dungeons are my rating. I can possibly offer you guys, or not me, these guides and your guys' contribution as well to these guides can offer the rating experience to people who are just going to level. They may not even ever hit level cap, but they could play on a whole nother level and experience rating, if not a better experience than ever before with these guides and with this kind of thinking. And that's what I love about the Classic WoW community, dude. It's so amazing how excited everyone is for the game, and I mean, I'm a testament to it. You guys are. You're watching freaking videos every day, and y'all can't get enough of this stuff. It's gonna be dope. Brian Lee, those spreadsheets are on private servers, not Classic WoW. I agree, and I'm so excited for a person who loves numbers. I can't wait for Classic WoW to come out because you're completely right. Especially whenever we're talking about theory crafting, speed runs, and 2 or 3 man runs. You want the numbers exactly right. I sound like a freaking broken record, but yeah, it's a good point, Brian. Absolutely, they are private server numbers. I can't wait. I can't wait to get official. The real Kyle, my personal goal is to complete every dungeon before I hit 60. Yeah, dude, we're taking it slow. Now, it depends on the position that I'm in come Classic. I may speed run the first character just because, but yeah, my second character, I'm hitting every single dungeon. Absolutely. Light Reaver, true, but they'll update them when Classic comes out. They're not set in stone yet. Yes, Light Reaver, you're exactly right. The spreadsheets, so that's the other thing. These videos, the spreadsheets, the contribution that people have been making to the community right now, it's not all for naught, right? And you got to remember that. And on YouTube, whenever you're making YouTube videos, you know, Cargos and the rest of the Classic WoW Live team, they've pointed this out and they've highlighted it. As soon as you put a video out, it's outdated, it's wrong, it's misinformed. But spreadsheets, you can update information. And so whenever I'm thinking about making guides and how I'm gonna make this dungeon series, putting it on PowerPoints is perfect because I can update it. Guys, you saw all the numbers that I'm gonna plug in. The drop percentages on all the items and the armor, the health, the DPS and the attack speed, all those are going to be updated and can be updated at any time. And not even just on a numbers perspective, I can throw in 20 extra slides whenever I want. So yeah, Light Reaver makes a good point. It's really important as a content creator, as someone that's making videos and guides, this is huge making them on PowerPoints. It's not all for naught whenever you're putting a spreadsheet together. Because yeah, you'll just be able to plug in numbers, which is neat. Brian Lee, I'm taking a week off to no life for a week to level a hunter to farm for my warrior main tank. Yeah, bro. Everybody is. We're going to see a mass decline in the economy whenever Classic WoW drops. Everybody's going to be chilling at home. I don't know how economics work. We might actually see a rise. Might actually see a spike. Yeah, Matthew Johnson, same 2 weeks off for the 2 weeks off for the Classic grind. You already know, bro. You already know. Yeah, I'll be taking time off as well. I'm thinking long term. I'm thinking big time off. Big time. I don't know what's gonna happen up to that point, but I'm thinking about it. Jalen, how efficient is it really to level an alt just to farm? Even if you speed level, that's a 90+ hour investment that you could have put onto your main. Jalen, how efficient is it to really level an alt just to farm? Yeah, bro. How efficient is it? Okay, so this is what I hear all the time, and I'm gonna break it down to you like this. This is my opinion. Dire farm gold runs, right? Killing the stupid lashers. They produce the most income per hour, the most gold per hour, right? I don't think I'm ever gonna do Dire Maul gold farms. I don't. I really don't think so. It bores me. Who wants to go into Dire Maul for an hour, run it for 15 minutes, run out, reset, and do it again? I don't want to do that. Personally, you know, I put out one of my guide videos talking about how I would have a second account with an entire list of level 35s, and I would set their professions up to where they would get they'd be able to transmute Arcanite, and they'd be able to make Mooncloth, because those are on 2 and 4 day cooldowns for the rest of time, right? That's the kind of farming that's the kind of gold farming that I'm talking about. And you know why I would prefer that over Dire Maul gold farms, which are probably, if not without a doubt, more efficient than many other gold farming methods, is because it's more fun. Like, at the end of the day, Dire Maul, I can't even speak. Dire Maul gold farm runs would bore me to death. There's nothing that would make me quit Classic WoW faster. There's nothing that would burn me out more than Dire Maul gold farm runs. So is it really efficient? It's probably not very efficient, but long term, keeping you in the game and keeping you excited about Classic WoW, it's a better benefit in my eyes. But yeah, that's my 2 cents on it, at least. Brian Lee, when am I getting a Patreon set up? Dude, thank you for pointing that out. I'm doing it this weekend. I got big plans, because here's the thing, and I'll talk on this. You guys keep getting me on topics. I love it. I really wanted to gain the respect of my peers. I really wanted to gain the respect of everybody before I opened up services. Now, you can think about it one way or another. But by this weekend, I really think that I found my niche. Because I didn't want to open up a Patreon and not offer you guys something unique, not be able to bring something to the table whenever you subscribe. Rather, you know, you could be, it's a great service to support me monthly, and that's what's going to keep me making these videos. It's the only thing that's going to keep me making videos. It's the only thing that's going to keep me making, make this a reality. These dungeon guide videos are those services. But I haven't opened them up yet, because it's been 95 days, and yeah, this weekend is big time. I'm going to open everything up. It's going to be Patreon, I guess I'll have a PayPal. I already do have a PayPal, but I'm trying to think of some of the other money streams. I want to do merch at some point. Oh, and then Patreon. So, yeah, now I'm in a position where I'm set up. I have a lot of gold-making farm ideas. Huge gold-making farm. Like game-breaking stuff that I don't want to post on YouTube, but I want to post them on Patreon. And I want to give them to my Patreon supporters, not only because it'll be beneficial for me, and it'll be a great way... It'll be a great income for me, because I'll be able to give you guys more value. It'll be like $5 a month to get 2 gold farm methods that are exclusive to Patreon. And not only will it benefit me and help me continue making these guides, it will keep the gold farm, it will make the gold farm still viable. If I post this gold farm, I've got some sick ideas, guys. Crazy good ideas, which I know a lot of other people think about too in one form or another. If I were to post it on YouTube, all of a sudden the gold farm is crap. All of a sudden it's useless. So that's a huge thing I'm planning on doing with Patreon, is having gold. And ooh, I can't spill the beans, because I'm gonna have a whole spreadsheet on just things you can buy off the auction house to instantly flip for a profit, and I'll have all the numbers for all those things, and that'll be a Patreon reward. So yeah, Brian Lee, I'm thinking about that, bro. I'm gonna have it this weekend. Sorry. Let me see. Brian Lee, have you ever tried to farm with a main tank and in Classic? Oh, you're probably talking about the other guy. 50 gold to respec every time you go Arms or Fury. Yeah, dude. Oh, Brian Lee, you bring up a good point. So, in these 2 or 3 man dungeons, this is what excites me so much is you can do it a couple different ways. This is something you can participate in. If you're gonna level to 60, you can hit each dungeon and go, hey, you know what? Graves for Days had a, you know, a 30-minute dungeon run. No, probably not that fast, but he had a 35, 40-minute 3-man dungeon run. I'm gonna try and compete with him. Each dungeon is gonna provide a new talent tree. You're gonna need it. If you want to maximize time, if you want to maximize the best things, the talent trees are gonna change for each dungeon. It's gonna be sick, dude. Like, one dungeon as a druid, you're gonna want stealth detection. You're gonna want the increased stealth detection. That goes for rogues as well. And some dungeons you're not. It's gonna require a complete respec of your abilities. And yeah, that respec price, gold is everything. And especially whenever you're gonna achieve this 2 to 3 man dungeon run group composition like I'm trying to, it's gonna demand a lot of time and a lot of gold, unfortunately. But yeah, I'm glad that you brought that respecking up. Matthew Johnson, DM not coming out till phase 4. Shut up. Did we see that somewhere? I thought it was phase 2. You can reserve gear and keep all the greens that disenchant. People are so desperate for tanks you can make quite a bit of money. Yeah, ooh. That's fair. Yeah. Death wants a near Chuck Norris experience. Sorry, Mike, I didn't read your comment out loud. I was thinking somebody's about to troll me. Make me say something out loud. I'm trying to catch up on your guys' comments. We're winding down, guys. I think we're running on 2 hours now. Almost 2 hours. But we're just wrapping it up. We're just chilling right now. Matthew Johnson, you had the respect when you casted with tips out, baby? I wish. No, I haven't casted with tips out. I was on Stay Safe stream for a second, if that's what you're referring to, I think. Yeah, that was kind of weird, but yeah, I did get on Stay Safe stream. I guess I did. He saw something in me, I guess, to want to start a discussion, but yeah. Mark Carbonera, did you hear that? Thunder Fury, Blessed Blade of the Windseeker. You already know, bro. You already know. Did you see my top 5 dungeon list? I threw that Thunder Fury, Blessed Blade of the Windseeker at the end of it. Pumped for Classic? Hell yeah, dude. Did someone say Thunder Fury, Blessed Blade of the Windseeker? Yeah, guys, we're just chilling. How's everybody doing? How many viewers do we got right now in YouTube? What are we doing? Yeah, we're looking at 22. Hey, thanks for everybody stopping by. Like I said, I'm not really going over the slides anymore. I guess I could scroll through it just to keep you guys entertained. But I'm just kind of reading comments at the moment. Probably gonna wind down pretty quick and go ahead and finish this dungeon guide video out. Like I said, it's not gonna get done till the weekend because I'm gonna wait for more comments coming. If you didn't watch the entire video, really look at it. Really look at my PowerPoint because I've got a lot of cool points. Again, if you're just catching the end of this, focus on 2 to 3 man group compositions. We're micromanaging. We're theory crafting these dungeons to the T. And after I get this first video, after I get this first dungeon, like I did the Dead Mines dungeon guide, but I didn't include everything like I'm gonna include in this guide. And Wailing Caverns is going to literally have everything to think about. So it'll help you guys think and theory craft with me in future dungeon guide videos. But yeah, for now, this was just a test run. This was the first time I displayed this thing on live stream. I think it's neat. It's a cool way for me to interact with you guys whenever I'm halfway through the dungeon run, dungeon guide, get some input from you guys. But yeah. Anyways, yeah. So go ahead and give it a look. Yeah, I'm probably gonna wind down, just because we're just chilling. Anybody else got any other questions? I'm just chilling with you guys. It's fun. I'm enjoying this. I really am. And I want to get on a more, because I really can. I want to get on a consistent schedule of streaming. And like I said, oh my gosh, YouTube is burning me out. Not burning me out, but, ooh, I like this slide a lot. We're going to sit on this one. So, YouTube is fine. Actually, I like this one more. Maybe that one. So, YouTube is cool, but like the grind, man, putting videos out every day. Like earlier this week, I put together a video. It took 2 days, and it sucked. I was really like, I was mad at myself because I was in this predicament of what is my contribution to the classic WoW community. Like I was saying, I'm kind of moving my channel right now. I'm moving the direction of my channel. I don't really want to put out entertainment videos. It was another classic WoW hype video. And I think I'm going to finish recording it, but like I watched it and I was like, oh my gosh, I spent so much time in this classic WoW hype video. did I really contribute to the community? Like, it's just another video. I really want to bring value to you guys, and for some reason, dungeons are my thing. I love dungeons, and there's not a theory crafting of two to three man group competition. I want to create a whole new experience. I want to create a whole new gameplay in Classic WoW. That's what I want to do. I don't know why I want to do it, but I do. And I'm gonna be able to achieve that through these guides. Multi-boxing dungeon farming at level 60 for money farming. Yeah, that's a thought. That's definitely a thought. We need more vlog jogs. Yeah, Jalen, that was fun, dude. So the vlogging might give me an opportunity to post more consistently because it's just off the cuff. Don't even have to think about it. The vlogging, streaming, and the Classic WoW hype videos were supposed to be in line with that, but again, I feel like I can't just put out crap videos. Oh my gosh, and the editing on that video, I spent like 3 hours on a Classic WoW hype video series editing, and I'm like, why am I spending so much time editing a video that I'd rather spend 3 hours making a dungeon guide than making an entertaining video that lasts 8 minutes. These dungeon guides are gonna be timeless, guys. So that's my 2 cents when it comes to that. Definitely appreciate that you watch all the stuff and find unique things you enjoy to share. Yeah, Aqua, absolutely. Absolutely, bro. I appreciate you appreciating me, dude. I do. It means a lot, man. I keep tabs on everybody, and it's cool. Like, and like I said, whenever I watch other people's videos, I read the comments because ultimately it's all about the reactions. You know, the topics and ideas that people come out with. Yeah, it's interesting, I guess, but I'm more interested in the viewer feedback. Like, dude, Platinum put his new, guys, for everybody that hasn't watched it yet, and I'm sure you have. If you're watching me, I'm sure that you guys watch Platinum. He's doing his dungeon dives. He just put out a new video on Nomergun today. That was the most entertaining 10 minutes of my life that I've spent on YouTube in a while. Since his last video. Yeah, absolutely. Shout out to Platinum OI. Yeah, he's a beast. He's a beast. I really enjoy it. And it's funny, you know, we're both doing dungeons right now, but we do them in completely different ways. I'm not as entertaining. My dungeon guide videos are not going to be, you're not going to watch them to like, oh, dude, I wish he could make them more often, dude. I'd drink a Coke or like a beer or something and just chill watching Platinum's entertaining videos. Now, if you're watching mine, I feel like you got to be focused and you're thinking and you're theory crafting, which they're just two totally completely different things. But I wish Platinum could put more videos out faster because those things are absolute fire. He's got some of the best editing skills right now. The most entertaining Classic WoW videos on the market right now, in my opinion. Most entertaining. It's not even close. So, yeah, I appreciate him. It's cool. It's cool being a content creator in the community right now. But yeah, guys, I think this is my 5th stream. I'm not partnered yet with Twitch, so I can't get subscriptions yet, which I'm excited about. But like I said, I really want to do a daily stream or Monday, Wednesday, Friday, talking like this because I love this. I love this interaction. And like I said, I've been wanting to make YouTube videos, but YouTube, the environment of making YouTube videos, it's not viable. There's a reason you don't see people post a video every day. Good videos. Now, I could achieve it and here's the other thing. The reason I can't do it with Classic WoW is because I haven't played private servers. I haven't played the game in 5 years, you know, outside of retail or whatever. I don't know. I played in Warlords, but what I'm saying is I'm so out of practice. I can't just make a video talking about something because I know everything about it. Once we play Classic, dude, I'm going to be able to, I literally would be able to make 2 videos a day just because I'll be able to talk like this and it'll be super easy. But the environment of YouTube right now is, I can't put a video out every day. It takes too much thought, it takes too much research, it takes too much visual aid, that will be different whenever I'm actually playing the game. But this Dungeon Guide series, I'm so connected to dungeons and the style, the research, the information needed, and then the nostalgia factor. Everything that I remember about dungeons, I can give a ton of feedback. I could talk about dungeons for days, dude. On days. Grays for days, right? So, I'm excited about where I'm going with my channel. I want to get these dungeon guides finished as quickly as possible because I still want to do professions. I still have another series I want to get done before the game comes out, and then everybody's going to be doing leveling guides before the game comes out. There's so much to do, so I don't want to pigeonhole myself into dungeon guide videos, but I'm going to get through these things as quickly as possible. I know I've been lacking like the last week, but I'm still finding myself. Like I said, I'm still finding my niche. I'm still finding my contribution to the Classic WoW community. So I'm hoping that these dungeons I can get in here, knock them out as quickly as possible. It'll probably be 6 weeks. If I can do this in 6 weeks, oh my gosh, I would be so ecstatic. What's today? January, February, March? Yeah, because I'm taking a class in May. If I could get this done before May, my May semester class, it's a short course 3-week class, I would be ecstatic. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. I'm grinding. I'm trying to put it out there for you guys. And for myself, that's the other thing. I think that's like the secret sauce. I'm not doing this for for you guys. I'm not doing this for the money necessarily. I'm doing this for myself. This is what I want to do in Classic. And if I'm gonna speedrun, if I'm gonna do 2 to 3 man group compositions, I need to know every single ability. I need to know every single armor, health stat, attack speed on every single mob in every dungeon. So I'm making these guides for myself, which is the secret sauce. That's what makes these videos, in my opinion, they're gonna be so good because I'm so invested, because I'm so excited about them. Jalen, I can't exactly remember what you said before, but you were talking about dungeon and speed running. Were you talking about planning to make a website or in leaderboards? Yes. So you know how in retail, I actually don't know how it works, but I know that there is a website that keeps track of all the mythic raiders, right? And maybe I should look into that. But the same thing, if I could somehow get a criteria of 2 3-man group compositions that somehow enter into this bracket, it can record their times. Dude, how sick would that be? How sick would that be? That's a whole new gameplay for the entire community. And it's not based on server. That's the other thing. I'm gonna have stream days. I'm gonna have daily stream days where we all Saturday night we do the fastest 2 3-man dungeon run through Wailing Caverns, right? And you send in your video submission. Who can run it the fastest? You don't even have to play with me to participate with me. That's what's so unique. That's what's so neat about this project, and why I'm so all in. Why I'm really excited about it. So yeah, anything from a website to add-ons, it would be something like that. Appreciate you, Mark Carbonaro. Appreciate you, bro. the Crocolus can storm when saw you. Yeah, bro. Yeah, Jalen, I agree. To have a 2 and 3 man, 5-man bracket, absolutely. Absolutely. Paul Jackson, no, I played vanilla. I was 9 years old. I played, this is why I'm so in love with the game. This is why I'm so passionate about the game. Because the funny thing is I never really played private servers. I played Chronos 3 for the first, I think, day and a half, 2 days. And then I gave up on it. I haven't played in vanilla. I mean, I haven't played in private servers, but I played when I was 9 years old. Of course, probably, yeah, it was 2005. I hit 40-ish through vanilla. Then the Burning Crusade came, and it was the alt farm, right? And back in the day, dude, you couldn't ever grind it out. I got to Zangmarsh in the Burning Crusade with Jolly, and I went ahead and switched on alts. I didn't hit level cap till Wrath of the Lich King. So that's kind of my experience with vanilla. But yeah, there's something about vanilla, the time investment. Even though I didn't raid, I didn't experience certain things, dude, for some reason that bug, there's something internal. It's not necessarily the things that you did in vanilla, but if you played in it, it's the hierarchy system. It's the way reputation works. It's the way achievement is gained in vanilla. There's something timeless about that. Whether you're raiding in game or you're doing a 5-man dungeon, or you're in a 2-man group and you just made some beastie play to keep you and your friend alive last second, or PvP, whatever it is. So yeah, that's kind of my experience on it. Jalen, that's so much replayable content. People talk about content will dry up in Classic, but things like this, making our own content, is so beneficial for the community. Jalen, that's what I'm talking about, dude, and that's what is so important about my guide videos. That's what's so important. Like I said, am I just going to be an entertainer? Am I just going to do this for my own benefit? Am I just going to be another streamer? I could be, but screw that, dude. I want to add this to the game. This will extend the game's lifetime. Dude, we'll have all the big name streamers doing 2 to 3-man dungeon runs, man. Absolutely. As well as everybody else that's following me. So you never played vanilla. Got it. That's alright, Paul. It's all good, bro. Yeah, Light Reaver, I leveled Warrior as my first character. Honestly, yeah, you talk about getting the vanilla experience from age 9. You ain't lying, dude. You know how many... I think I spent more time in ghost form than I did alive. No, seriously, every day I got on, I died a minimum 3 times. Minimum. Depending on the amount of time I spent during that session, but, whatever. Yeah, dude, you did miss the slideshow. It's too bad. Oh, no. We're just chilling right now. I'm about to end the stream just because I've been talking for a minute. Yeah. I'm just gonna... We've been going on for two hours now. I've been done with the guide for like 30 minutes. I've just been chilling with the chat. Chilling with you guys. Yeah, my bad, Snood Penguin. So, I'm gonna have a lot more of these in the future. As each dungeon comes out, don't worry. Hopefully, I'll do like Dungeon Fridays or something, or I'll have it more on a consistent basis, a time that everybody can get in on. Once I finish this guide and I post it, and I post all the numbers, and I have all the spells and abilities listed that we can all theory craft, and you have an idea of what I'm talking about and how you should be thinking, the future guide videos are gonna be so much better. This one was nothing, what we did today. So yeah, look out in the future. You didn't miss anything, trust me. This was beneficial for me, though, to get a lot of feedback on what I can add into this guide. But yeah, guys, I appreciate y'all, I appreciate everybody showing up and sticking with me for so long. Man, I just got 9 viewers on Twitch. My bad. My bad. I'm just sad because y'all jumped in at the end of the stream. But yeah, we've been going for 2 hours and 12 minutes now. I'm gonna go ahead and clip this, call it a day. I really do appreciate everybody in here. Even Paul, appreciate you, bro. Come back for another one. The Snoop Penguin, am I gonna play through Warcraft 3? Yes, I want to, because the lore is important to me. It's really neat, and that stupid Stormwind Sewer Beast video that I made, the lore of Warcraft 3, you know, I had a totally different perspective on it because I played a little bit of Warcraft 3, bro. So that was neat. I want to. Absolutely. Jalen, I'm trying, bro. I appreciate you being hyped about this. It gets me hyped. It makes me excited. It makes me want to pump these things out even faster. So I'm gonna get off. I'm gonna cut out, because this crap takes forever. I'm gonna cut out all the spells and abilities for every class from 1 to 20 and plug it into here. It's gonna be a good time. It's gonna be fun. I appreciate you guys being here. We're gonna go ahead and call it here. Can't wait to see y'all on the tube. Yeah. It's your boy, Grace for Days. Alright, guys. Thanks, Jalen. You too, bro. Peace out, homies.